What's going on, E Will? Sorry I'm so late. So we got a good topic. Kwame's gonna definitely jump into this one. Um, so it's gonna be a good topic. I still gotta fix a few things, but I could definitely talk. Let's see. Okay. Had to sneak the. Yeah, it'd be like who me? Nah, I don't. I went to work last night. I was at work last night. I worked 11 to 7. I gotta work 11 to 7 tonight too. That's why I always do morning shows and stuff like that. Get me a cup of coffee or get me a refresher. Probably work out. But I was gonna go to hold on a second. I was gonna do wrestling tonight, but I have no contacts, so that's why y'all been seeing me wear glasses a lot. Those other ones been irritating my eyes, so yeah. Actually, speaking, give me a second. Yeah, give me a second. I actually gotta call them. Mm, mm. What's going on, everybody? I'm back. Hey, what's going on, E Will? Shout out to E Will, Randall Double R. Um, but yeah, we got a good topic today. Conservatives and Pan Africans having a hard time in this era. Um, it's a great question because at the end of the day, they have been failing miserably. This is one, so it's a we're gonna hear from other Pan Africans and see why they're feeling, and it's gonna be a great conversation, you know. But we have to be personally honest with each other, like why they feel. Why even conservative Pan African video by Tariq Nasheed, but most of this stuff, I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different where we hear from others, you know. And the thing about it, you know, it's bad. I don't think they know that they're losing horribly, you know. But the liberals aren't doing any better either. So, we can't be like, oh yeah, well the liberals are doing better. No, they all suck, and this is why a lot of conservatives and liberals are actually fighting each other. You actually got to blame your parties, so it's just the liberals probably got tired of these hate crimes with these conservatives. Give me a second. Is my joint acting a fool? Okay, I thought my joint was acting a fool. Um, you actually got to see what these hate. I think this is why the liberals are attacking. And I'm gonna be personally honest. The liberals are attacking. What you call those people? The conservatives, because you got to look at it. These conservatives have been attacking liberals for a very, very long time. Like we can't act like this isn't true. You know. Now, now we actually are seeing them cry foul after all the horrendous shit that they have done to these liberals, and especially these gay people. These gay people, don't forget, these gay people haven't fought. These gay people never really shot each other until like probably like 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago. You know, so actually, I'm gonna say this: these liberals didn't start acting a fool until Donald Trump got into this office. We personally got to be honest about it. Remember his fucking his first hour in office. I heard like what was it? People got locked up at his inauguration or some shit like that. Like it was on some crazy shit. Like people were rioting and protesting in front of the White House. So this is what I heard. They're feeling really bad. They feel it anyways because at the end of the day, don't forget, a lot of these conservatives fucked up America. The Ronald Reagans fucked up America. So we can't sit here and act like, oh yeah, these people are helping us. Like I always had that problem with them. Like I have bullets. I actually did bullets today. All the sleepers. Woke up when Trump got in. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, facts. They always blamed each other and stuff like that. And the sad thing about it, they blame each other and they're the ones in the office. You know, you got fucking Donald Trump was blaming Obama. Trump got kicked out, Joe Biden and Kamala was blaming Trump. Now Trump is back in office. He's still talking about Joe Biden. That motherfucker was so incoherent. He couldn't even write his own fucking name. Like, come on, let's not do that. Let's have some type of fucking dignity. Like these people don't have no dignity at all. So it's that's why I always say, it's a tough situation. The reason why it's a tough situation, it's a tough situation for black Americans, and like even people who are just trying to live their 9 to 5. is because at the end of the day, we always have to hear from these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers is always doing something that they're not supposed to. From Trump to fucking to Biden and Kamala. And Kamala was the vice president. But Kamala can't be like, oh well, I personally didn't feel this way because she said some weird shit. She was like, "Oh yeah, well, what Joe Biden was doing, some of the stuff I didn't agree with." Well, shit, why didn't you say anything? You was 10 toes down with all the shit that he was doing. So like, we can't act like these motherfuckers don't know. Shout out to Ohio, E. Will, Randall Double R. You know, it's just like we can't act like these motherfuckers didn't know what they were doing. And like that's why I say it's very disingenuous what these people are doing. You know, and give me a second, everyone. Give me a second, I'm almost done. Yeah, man, like we can't act like they didn't know what they were doing. They knew what they were specifically doing. You know, they knew they had an idea of what all this stuff was happening. So yeah, it sounds good. I always tell people, yeah, it sounds good, but come on, my man. Like you've been doing this, you've been in this game too long to be making these type of mistakes. You know, I do say that a lot. It's like you've been making these mistakes for a very long time. But like it is what it is. But yeah, they're gonna have to get this shit together, man. And the thing about it, I think everything was different. Like the world evolved, but political politics did it. It didn't evolve with the time. Like what I mean is, for all these years, these people have been working with each other, from Democrats to the Republicans, to get this country on point. Sometimes most of these people don't agree with this shit, but at the end of the day, these people are playing a deadly game of picking sides. It should have never been picking sides. It should be working with the presidents, no matter how much you didn't like. You think a lot of motherfuckers like to work with George Bush, even though this fucker fucked this world up. People, some of the shit that he stopped from doing because other politicians told him like, nah, man, I, I can't do this. You know, like we was on that type of time. So now we don't want to hear what the other person done, because you're the one in charge. You're the one in charge right now. But yeah, I personally knew that this was gonna happen. Honestly, I'm not even gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I knew this shit was gonna happen. And I knew it was gonna happen because at the end of the day, these people is too narcissistic. They're too narcissistic. They think they know everything. So now everything is fair. Like, come on, you got to look at these people's leaders. You got to look at who's talking for. Hold on one second. Let me delete this. Sorry, everybody. I gotta delete something real fast. All right. Like you gotta get who's talking for these people. You know. I have been telling people for a very long time, this shit is not a good look. This shit is not a good look, and the way how America is, I personally think everybody's laughing at America. I personally think, I'm being honest, I personally think everybody's laughing at America, because America can't get their shit together. Like they personally can't get their shit together, and they can. They always look for an escape route instead of being a leader and saying like, "Yo, you know what? I'm gonna take the blame for this because I'm gonna have to fix it." But like, you can even say, "Oh, well, homie didn't do this, homie didn't do that," but you could say, "Yo, you know what? But I'm gonna take the blame for it because I'm the president right now, and I'm supposed to fix things that these people fucked up." I think that would have been I think that would have been a perfect answer. You blamed everything on these motherfuckers, and now they're not even the presidents. This is why I said y'all look crazy when y'all do shit like that. But they don't want to hear it though. That's the thing. They don't want to hear that they're fucking up. They don't want to hear that, they're the problem. They don't want to hear that they're the problem. Hold on, give me a second. Uh, no, let's leave it. Give me a second, everybody. I gotta fix something real fast. But yeah, they don't want to hear that they're the problem. You know, yeah, they just don't want to hear that. They want to say, "Yo, you know what? I'm always right. I'm the one fixing this," and yada yada yada. And they don't want to hear that they're right or wrong. They don't want to hear that um what they're doing is the issue. You know. Let me see. Okay, this is perfect right here. But this is the time when you got to be a man and say like, "Yo, you know what? Some of the stuff that we did is fucked up." You know, some of the stuff that we have caused, wasn't proper. You know, but like I said, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. Um, I'm gonna also say this. Uh, it's so weird to say because it's. You know what? Let's start my bullets. The bullets that I have is what are the conservatives missing in this era? What are they missing? You know, one of the things I came up with was adapting with the new age generation when it comes to when it comes to the conservative party. Instead of going forward, they're going backwards. They want the 1950s and the 1960s back. Unfortunately, that shit is not going to happen. It's not going to happen because you got to evolve with the times. What we doing right now is legendary, how to explain? Yeah, what we're doing is legendary, you know. And also, give me a second. Let me see what y'all said. Like, what this world is actually doing right now. What's going on, Ray Ray? Salute, salute. Um, you got to look at what all this. They want to go backwards, and they got to understand all this shit that happened in the 50s and the 60s, the Black Panthers, the Black Liberation Armies, and all these movements started because of them. It started because of them. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Bronze Reaper podcast. I am your host, Rochelle and Perkins. I hope everybody's having a great Monday. To start the show, please like and subscribe and comment in the live chat, and also subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. When you subscribe, your name will pop up, and we will see who subscribed from X to Kick and to YouTube. I'm thinking about going back and doing Rumble as well, even though I think Rumble's failing. But we're gonna do Rumble. We're gonna go to the Rumble website as well too, platform as well too, because there's a lot of conservatives that need, that needs to check in as well. So we gotta go to Rumble as well. I gotta get that shit started soon. Um, but let's go back to oh yeah, if you like to donate, I will put it in the live chat actually now. Give me a second. I just gotta get shit started. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm so late. Just some shit I gotta do. Randall said I snuck a white girl out the house, but Randall's crazy. He said, "Yeah, Rosalind sneaking white girls out the house. That's why he's late." Nah, man. All jokes aside, there's some cute white girls. I just, you know, it's Tuesday. Hey, what's going on? Let it go Tuesday. Double O 004. How's it going, man? Did I say Monday? If I said Monday, my apologies. But I thought I said Tuesday. But shout out to you, man. I do want to say this. Uh, we can get back to what I'm saying, and I'll start over. The bullets that I have for the conservative and why they're having a hard time in this era. Oh, my fault. I meant Tuesday. Thank you, Let It Go 004. Um, I want to say this. The reason why the conservatives is having a very hard time because I don't think they can adapt into this new era. Most people, it's a revolutionary. This delineation will be a historical footnote. Facts. I agree with that, Ray Ray. I agree with that big time because don't forget these people. We didn't turn on Africans. We didn't turn on the Latinos. Don't forget we let them. We let them come into our country with open arms. When America wasn't gonna like, oh yo, what are we gonna do with these people? Black Americans is like, yo, they can come into our communities. We didn't know they were gonna be living on top of each other, but we still let them into our communities, from the Latinos to the Caribbeans to the Africans, even some Asians. At one time, even in the 1930s, we were living amongst Asian people. You know, so let's not forget about that. We are watching evolution happen in real time, and they are getting phased out. Yeah, the thing is, that's why. Yeah, the thing is that they're not adapting. You're totally right, Ewell. That's why I say they're not adapting into this new age of generation. They want to stay in the 60s. They want to stay in the 50s. They're not understanding that those times are dead. Those times don't work in this era. There's too many type of preference or was it orientations, sexuality. Like it's. I would tell people this. I get the people want to only have two pronouns. I get that. I get that. But at sometimes you at sometimes things don't need an answer. You already said what you needed to say. They already know how you feel. Um so best sometimes things are just won by not saying anything. Like let me give you an example. LL Cool J and cannabis. LL Cool J probably responded to cannabis a few times, one or two times. But the reason why cannabis lost is because LL Cool J stopped rapping with him. He just started making hits. He started moving up in the food chain. You know, Harry Tubman, who became upon 1945 represented the contraction. Unlike Americans face when making political choices, he was openly racist. Yeah, facts. Definitely, I could believe that. I got to do research on that one too. That's very interesting what you just said. Ohio. Salute to you, Ohio. Salute to you, Ewell. Salute to you, Ray Ray. Oh yeah, salute to you. Let's get it. 004. Those are great points. I'm gonna throw this too in there. Conservatives' ideology needs to be updated. All this shit. This is why red pill fizzled out. This is why blue pill is barely holding on. Is on life support. The blue pill is on life support right now. Because those people who bleed in the blue pill, we have seen the results of their relationships. We've seen the results of their political ideology. So it's just like I said, those red pill, blue pill shit doesn't work. Red pill, look at Myron Gaines. He talks about all this man shit, got caught in the bed with white men. Find out he had a fake relationship. He still hasn't recovered from that Tariq Nasheed debate. He's it's so bad that this nigga's doing clippets of some shit that he's saying that he won. And niggas seen that this nigga got his food eaten. This is what type of denial that the conservatives in. And let me tell you what else. I'm gonna add one more other thing too. Conservatives is getting caught up in their lives, passing out misinformation, talking about, oh yeah, black people are half of the, arrests. Was it arrests? Per capita or some stupid shit like that. Then when you ask them, it's like, oh yo, how much of these people were exonerated? I gotta look it up. Oh, but you know how many people? Let me tell you something. I could go to. They come lock me up or bring me to a police station, let me go. I'll still be on that percentage. You know, it's from the FBI. Like black people always had a great relationship with the FBI. You know, this is the type of problems and the issues that they're not adapting to. You know, I'm gonna also say this. Conservatives too don't know how to fit in. The people who they think they are fitting into their 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 world, they're making them lose. These are the races of the races. Like they can't fit in with foundational black Americans. They can't fit in with the LGBTQIA community. They can't fit in with the immigrants. They can't fit in with other movements. Like how the fuck you're trying to get the black votes but you can't fit in with their movements or their organizations? How the fuck you want these immigrants to vote for you but you know nothing about them? You don't even know what they want in America. This is why immigrants now, I bet you, let me tell you something. I bet you when these 3 years is up or these 3.5 years is up, these immigrants is gonna be minding their fucking business and saying, I'm not voting for none of y'all niggas. All y'all niggas is crazy. Or I'm gonna vote for that, or I'm gonna vote for a Democrat because they're gonna keep me in this country. They're gonna give me money. That's what they're gonna do. But the Republicans know if they stay on cold with black people, they're winning for the next 20 years, 30 years. Let's personally be honest. They'll be winning the Republicans will be winning the political party, I mean the political elections for the next 20 years if they really really fuck with black people. You know. Hold on a second. Okay. Yeah. Hey, shalom, shalom. You know, in the 1920s. Oh, that was the 1920s. Yeah, it's. I'm not surprised. Ohio. Was it Teddy Roosevelt? Yeah, he was a very interesting guy. Wasn't he one of those Rockefeller type of dudes? I said in the 90s, most of the world didn't like black Americans. Facts. We all did our own thing. This is how this hip hop actually evolves. Shout out to Dorsey. What's going on? Finally, I caught up with you. Yeah, yeah. I did a late. I usually do morning shows Mondays and Tuesdays, and Wednesday I do the Chocolate Man podcast. I'm gonna start doing the Chocolate Man podcast on Tuesdays and Saturdays. You know, yeah, Tuesdays and Saturdays, and we'll just start over on Mondays through to Saturday. So yeah, um, that's it on Saturday. That's if I'm not going anywhere. Um, oh shit, give me a second. Let me go check my eggs. I boil eggs every morning. So yeah, oh shit, he was. Damn, I didn't even know that. I thought he was from the south. Um, I want to say this also. They don't understand that the foundational Black Americans, the LG, even the LGBTQIA, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that's the face of the liberal party or the liberal movement. You know, that's the face of the liberal movement. You know, so I don't think they're gonna go anywhere for no time soon right now. It could like the conservatives can try to push them around and stuff. They're gonna understand that it was a Rough Rider, Spanish, American. What was that one? I never heard of that. Police in the world. I think so. I know. I think he was a Rockefeller, or was he a Rough? I thought he was a Rockefeller. I don't know. We had. Yeah, you'd be surprised. Damn, he was that bad. I didn't know. Was it Teddy? Was it Theodore Roosevelt? Was that bad? Big old Teddy, huh? Also, too, the big problem, the big problem, and I'm gonna say this: y'all gonna agree with me with this. The people who are representing these conservative people in the media and in these podcasts, they're the worst of the worst. You know, you got Fresh and Fit, Myron Gaines, you got fucking Nick Fuentes, Ben Shapiro, fucking Candace Owens, what's his name, Officer Tates. You got these people right now supporting this conservative party instead of a fresh new face. Like, what's his name? The reason why this conservative party doesn't work because they talk about who's being right and wrong. Um, talk softly and carry a big stick. Oh, facts, facts, Thirsty. Um, the problem is they talk about who's being right or wrong and not how can we fix this problem and how can we have unity in both parties. You could be like, yeah, I'm a conservative, I am a Republican, but at the end of the day, we all need to have some type of agreement. The conservatives could have been done that shit. But you gotta understand, I think it might be too late now because when Donald Trump came in here, he was pushing all that crazy shit. And this is why I don't want to say I'm blaming Donald Trump for all this shit that's happening now, but you kind of have to blame him for it. Put it this way: do you think if Donald Trump didn't say all the crazy shit that he would say, don't you think Charlie Kirk would have been alive? Let's think about that shit. You know, those guys are funded by dark money industry. Yeah, facts. You're right about that, OC. They're funded by that. You know, like all these parties are like I did it. Yo, Kwame and Shabaka crucified me for this. I did a reaction video. I think it was a reaction video on 19 Keys. If you don't know who 19 Keys is, he's a conscious. He's very very conscious man coming out of California. I think Oakland. He talked about the Pan African movement and how it started. He did research. We looked at the research search of it, and what problem that Kwame had about this, and I knew that Kwame was gonna have a problem about it, is when they said that the the Pan African movement was funded by the CIA. They just went by a different name to get the money. You know, they went through a was it African culture and was it American African American culture and society or some shit like that, AMAC or some shit like that. And Kwame had a problem with that. And I told Kwame, I was like, yo, he's pulling up the information. Oh, this is propaganda, and I'm like, yo, my nigga. He's showing this. He said, "Yo, this shit really wasn't really popping like that." You know, they would do, and I've been saying this. I was like, "Yo, I think they personally gave us Pan Africanism because don't forget, a lot of us was radicalized back in the day before Pan Africanism was really popping off like that. Niggas was sniping niggas. Y'all think that DC sniper was the only one popping niggas back in the army, and just because in the it was the early 2000s? Nah, there was niggas back in the 50s doing that shit, protecting their cities and their states from white supremacy. Like there were people doing that. They were getting busy out here. And this is why I always tell people they say 1 out of 22 men will commit murder, lies after lies. Yeah, they have. You gotta understand this. A white man's comfort is a black man's fear. So what I mean when I say that, a white, a white, was it a white supremacist will only be comfortable if a black person is scared out here. If a black person is worried out here, that's the only time they'll be comfortable. Till this day, they're still waiting for a fucking revolt from us. They're waiting for a revolt. Like, all jokes aside. Yeah. Can I call in? Got some. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Email me. I'll let you speak, definitely. I'm gonna send my email in right now, and definitely you can speak. You can speak. I'm not gonna. You know me. I don't really talk over nobody. I just have you. This is your time. And I like to use your time wisely. I might ask the question or two, but I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, that's wrong, that's right." No, you know what? Let me see. Hold on, did I put my right information in? Jesus Christ, I don't even know my information. That's bad. Give me a second, everyone. But yeah, it's. I always tell people all the time. It's a weird situation out here. Let's see. All right, now get that phone open. All right, right there. But definitely, yeah, I definitely let you talk. Yo, D. What's going on, man?
I guess you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, yeah,
Afternoon to you, brother.
yeah. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, it's 11:30 over here, so it must be like 9 over there, 9 or 8.
Yeah, it's just now creeping toward 9 here in LA.
Okay,
So,
okay. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, man.
yeah, so first of all, let's deal with the Pan Africanism because that's something that's close to the black community. Then I'll give you some info on Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
Okay. When I was coming up, Pan Africanism wasn't even part of the language
Mm.
until like the 1970s, right?
Yeah.
When Martin Luther King got killed, right?
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden, we were designated as Afro Americans. See,
Mm.
Jesse Jackson said we were African Americans, but no, we were designated as Afro Americans because of the Pan Africanism that we started embracing. That's when brothers started wearing afros, and then that's when brothers started wearing dashikis.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay.
then we start, we start making I won't say investigations, but we start inquiring about African culture. You see where I'm coming from?
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, we were asking about the Africans, but the Africans never was asking about us.
Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from?
Give me one
So,
second. Give me 1 second, cause I'm gonna pull something up. Who's that? Cause I did a show on this,
hmm
and I'm gonna show you something.
now
Uh,
the turning point when the Africans started wanting to hang out with us was when Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier had that boxing match.
Rumble in the Jungle. Yeah.
Exactly. So when James Brown, Jim Brown, all of what we would call black entertainment royalty
Yeah.
went to Africa and started spending the money, then them Africans was like, oh, them niggas in America got that loot.
Mhm.
Let's start doing a little business with them. Then that's when they start importing all their goods to America, to the black community, right?
Mhm.
So then we established what we call a cultural trade. You understand what I'm saying? They were sending their stuff over. We was buying it, but they became really, really, really entranced with black culture, with let's say FBA culture. Let's say it
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, cause anybody can latch on to black culture. I mean, yeah, black culture now. So I get it.
Right. So then once they saw that FBAs had that loot, they started sending their kids over here to go to school. Now I went to a school called Piney Woods Military School. That was in Mississippi, right?
Mhm.
And this is where I met my first Nigerian.
Hold on one
His name
second.
was
Hold on 1 second. They said they can't hear you. Give me 2 seconds. All right,
Is this
talk
better?
now. Yeah, that's better now.
Okay. So what happened is they started sending exchange students over to America to learn more about American culture, Black American, I mean FBA American culture,
Mhm.
right? So the first cat that came over, his name was Chris Otahili, and he had a sister. Her name was Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay. So when Chris came over, he was kind of a little short. We thought he was a pygmy or something because he was on number 5'1", right?
Yeah.
Real thick accent, and then he had the tribal marks in his face.
Oh, I
He
was just
had
about to say
three
that.
three tribal marks on each side of his face, and we was asking him about that, and he said, "Oh, that's because I'm a prince, and this is my warrior marks." And we bought into the shit because we was like, "Okay, that's cool." You know what I'm saying? We not finna sit up there and debate with a person on what it is. That's one thing about black people. I mean, FBAs, we're accepting of any culture.
Yeah.
You can you can tell us anything, and we're not going to question it because basically we're not going to bring it into our lives. So when when people say stuff, he'd be like, okay, that's cool, but we ain't finna adopt their customs, right?
But did he hit you with the Mansa Musa dream tale? Talk about
Nah,
he a
man, Chris was
prince.
a little. Yeah, he said he was a prince
They
and
all said
all
that they
that,
prince.
but
They
right, but see, he was a little pervert, right?
Yeesh, Jesus Christ.
And many a time, because we had because we lived in a dorm, we didn't have individual bathrooms. We had community. This almost like a private school, right?
Hmm.
So every time around 3 or 4 in the morning, somebody would come up and say, "Man, guess what I seen, man? Chris over there jacking off on the toilet. Whoa, 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 whoa!"
Jesus
Right?
Christ.
Yeah, everybody had a story. Like, cause you get up in the middle of the night, hear this little nigga over here whacking off like a mad dog, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story real fast. It's a quick story. I used to have this friend. He was Haitian. His family had a little bit of money and stuff like that, and he went to Northeastern. Actually, he went to school where Myra and Gaines went to. And I used to party over there all the time. Get women, go back with them, woo woo woo, go eat some breakfast, lunch. Go do what I have to do, come back, party again.
Uh
So
huh.
one day, my clothes started come back missing, and I'm like, yo, what? Where the fuck are my clothes? I was like, hey, yo, you see my clothes? He's like, nah, I haven't seen your clothes. And one day, I just what I did. He was going to bring clothes into the in a washer, and I was like, yo, bro, are those my underwears? He's like, what, these? I was like, yeah. I said, you been wearing my clothes? He's like, oh, you can have them back. I was like, I don't want them back. You wore them. Yo, I was like, yo, what are you, bro? You stealing my underwears, man? Come on, you can't do that, man.
See, that's how much they love us, homie.
Yeah, man. He's a brain surgeon
They'll wash
now.
your dirty drawers and then
Yeah,
wear
man.
them.
This motherfucker now, I think he's like a brain surgeon or some shit, or a
See?
neurologist. Yeah, them motherfuckers is perverts, man. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, man. So, but his sister,
Hold on,
I
hold on,
have
hold
to
on. Let me say
admit,
this. Let me say this. Everybody, not every Haitian people do that, but this one did. All right. So let me say that. Not every
right,
Haitian.
we going to say there's always an exception to the rule, okay?
Yeah.
We not going to stereotype people like they stereotype us,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we do love people here. So it's just at the end of the day, we just got to give them some, rude awakening, man. That's what we got to call it. It's a rude awakening. So
Yeah.
it's. I always tell people all the time, it's not that we don't love Caribbeans and Africans. Yo, we fuck with y'all. We eat y'all food. Well, we eat some of African food. But when it starts to get intense, like monkey stew and shit like that, no, we ain't eating that. Even with Haitian food, I like Haitian food. I like certain African food, like Ghana food. Like, yo, they use a lot of what, fish and rice, and they do some other shit, and it be
You eat
bomb.
chicken feet?
Um, not no more. Cause my family
Oh, you
ate.
used to eat that shit?
Yeah, down south they eat chicken feet. That's
Yeah, they do, but I ain't never get into no chicken feet. I'm like, look, they
uh,
got breasts and thighs and everything else.
like,
Why I
yo.
want to
You want to
fuck
hear
with the
something
feet?
crazy? Yo, my baby mother, her
Uh huh.
family eats chicken feet and stuff like that. Fucking Cambodian. She's Cambodian. Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Oh,
don't
my
I don't
my
eat shit
my
like that.
son one time. My son one time. One of my sons. His folks is from the country, so he came here to California. This wasn't too long ago, and he bought a pack of chicken feet, right?
Mhm.
And then he asked me. He said, "Dad, go on and cook some chicken feet." I looked at him like he had lost his damn mind. I said, "Man, I don't know, don't fuck with no chicken feet, nigga. What's wrong with you?"
I'll tell you this: what I used to eat when I was younger, and it was because of my grandmother. Pig feet. I used to eat pig feet. This is
Okay, see, I can see a pig foot.
Yeah, cause I used to, cause like I said, my grandmother's from the south. You know,
Right.
the person that Shabaka keeps saying, "Oh yeah, your mother's is fucking from Benin." That's her mother. Her mother's from Selma, Alabama. That's why I was like,
Okay,
"Yo, this nigga's
okay.
cook. Is he doing drugs again?" So you know, they must got some good cocaine in New York or something. I don't know what's going on, but he keeps saying that. I'm like, nigga, my family's is all from the south. you know. So, um,
Yeah.
oh,
So,
go on. I'm sorry, go on.
no, 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 because that's interesting, because a lot of people in the South, they really eat everything. You know what I'm saying? They
Hmm.
utilize all parts of the animals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, especially Geechee.
So,
Geechee use
yeah.
everything from that
So,
to the meat to the skin to the bones.
right.
So yeah.
So, like I was saying, so when they came with the Pan Africanism and so forth, we didn't have a problem with it.
Hmm.
We was like, okay, that's cool. But then we started seeing that, the Nigerian grifters and all them people used to come through
Hmm.
and they was taking advantage of the black community and so forth.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because at first they was like cool, then all of a sudden they wanted us to donate it to their causes, like, build a church and all this.
Yeah.
And and we were like, okay, but then we started seeing how they start the people who claim that they were, doing this for their humanity. All of a sudden, we seen them riding around in Cadillacs and everything else, right?
Hmm.
But they didn't have no visible means of support. You see where I'm coming from?
Facts.
It's cool if you're doing it for yourself and you got a job and this and that. But what was happening was that they started grifting the money, right?
Hmm.
So then more black dudes started coming, showing up. It was seldom that we see many black women. I mean, African women. Let me put it to you that way. We seldom saw African women, but we seen a lot of African men, especially from Nigeria.
Yeah.
They used to come to American colleges to take up petroleum engineering, medicine, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they was coming to America and so forth to be educated, but when they used to come into the black community, they didn't know how to act, right? You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So when they used to come into our clubs, this in the '70s. Now this we talking about the clubs, right?
Hmm.
Everybody else, we respect our sisters and so forth. Because you would want to slow dance. You know what I'm saying? You know what the
Yeah.
slow dance was
Oh
back then,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, bump and grind, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, yeah, but the Africans looked at it in a different way.
Oh yeah.
They didn't understand that, hey man, this is just getting close to a woman. They were thinking that American women was hoes because of the slow dance. So then they would treat the black women like hoes.
Yep.
Come here, woman. Come here right now and
Grabbing
shit.
their
Making
arms and
them,
shit. Yeah, I remember.
yeah. Yeah, and so the sisters was like, what's wrong with this crazy motherfucker right here?
Hmm.
Then also, they weren't too keen on the fashion, so, they would be wearing some buster ass shit.
Yep.
We wearing all kind of fly shit. They wearing some old crazy shit.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, they smelling like goat ass. Let's keep it real.
Sure.
You know, the hygiene wasn't up to American standards,
Mm.
right? So, you know, we started then. That's when we lost our interest, let's say, in Pan Africanism. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, like I said, when James Brown went to Zaire, remember for the boxing match, right?
Yeah. Rumble in
Remember
the
his
jungle,
song?
right? You talking about the Rumble in the jungle?
Yeah, the Rumble in the Jungle.
Okay.
Remember his song, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud?
Yeah.
That's why they jumped on the black train.
Mm. So James
Because
Brown inspired them.
we started the black movement in Africa.
Oh. This is why I always tell people, and this is why Tariq Nasheed always says that without black influence, a lot of things would have happened in Africa that shouldn't be happening now. Like when was it the We Are the World thing? We sent all the black
Yeah.
what is it, the black celebrities and stuff like that. They
Yep.
did that because you know what? We were saying stuff like, yo, we need somebody to help our African brothers.
Exactly. We show love.
Yeah. And the thing
You
about
see
it,
where I'm coming from?
yeah, it's just we don't get it back. That's the thing with me.
No, we don't because we make investments with no gains.
Hmm.
We don't get nothing. We don't get nothing back out of trying to help them.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear, oh yeah, you get an African studies in college, nigga. What the fuck I'm gonna need a fucking African studies for?
Man, we didn't get no African studies in college. What they did was basically they went in the book, they pulled out of people of current political figures because they didn't talk about no black kings and queens and so forth. We just barely knew about Timbuktu,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's true.
Okay, we didn't know about that they were casting bronze in Benin. We didn't know about all that. We
Oh
didn't know
yeah,
about them doing med.
they had a
You see where I'm
crazy.
coming?
Benin had a crazy military. That's why if you ever see their old flag, it's a picture of a man cutting off a man's head. That's their old flag. That's the kingdom, putting the kingdom of Benin.
Yeah.
The thing
So
about it, they helped this world. They helped build that Great Wall of China, and most people don't know. This is why I say, yo, these Africans don't even know their own fucking history.
exactly, they check this out. The Africans don't even know that they started the culture in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You see, understand us. The FBA, we had more interest in African cultures than they did because see, they was caught up in tribalism. They couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see beyond their nose the
Facts.
contributions of the whole continent of Africa. You
Yep.
can you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Give me a second.
So
Hold on. Give me a second. Didn't the Black Panther insist James Brown make that song? Probably. Who knows? Ray Ray, you might be right. The Black Panther has a big influence in a lot of things, good and bad. Don't forget Black Panther has influence in the Crips and Bloods. If you don't notice, because don't forget when Black Panther got taken down, the next thing that ever happened was the Crips.
yep,
So most,
community response and progress.
yep.
hmm
So,
So when we started making an interest in Africa, they saw that hey, we can monetize on that,
mhm,
right? Now when they started sending those little those statues and masks and this and that, right?
mhm,
And daishikis and so forth. Hey man, we was buying that stuff. Like we was all into it, right? Because
mhm.
then that was like, okay, we got this stuff in our house and so forth. But then again, we didn't really think about what was in those statues because some of them was fetish.
Yeah,
You see
that's
what I'm
true.
saying? So we were allowed. We didn't know if hey maybe they put some spirits in that shit.
Yeah,
You see what I'm coming from?
hit you with a rook,
So
man. Got you with the rook.
right, they got the voodoo doll up in your crib. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So as we became more aware, and then we started looking at the people who were sent over, because understand this: the Africans that come to America are supposed to be the best, the elite.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you seeing that dude up there at what's that Rockefeller Center
Yeah.
and Trump Towers with them fake ass Rolex,
Yeah.
that's their best.
Oh yeah. Remember you were saying the starting of the Pan Africans was like in the 1976.
Yeah, about 1970s in the 1970s.
So they got that from American Society of African Culture. That was the organization that helped started the Pan African movement in America.
Right.
They were located in, what is it, Lago, Nigeria.
Yeah,
But
that was a head. That's Lagos.
yeah, but CIA funded them.
Of course, you know who Chakwe Mamumba.
Nah, who's that?
He was the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know if you remember the Symbionese Liberation Army. You ever heard of them?
Yeah, I heard of them.
Okay, Patty Hearst, all that. Remember that? Remember they were tied in with Patty Hearst?
Yeah,
Well, Lumumba was the one who was the
that's the white girl,
informant.
right?
Yep.
The white girl who was
Yep.
like, "Oh yeah, they when she got caught, she was like, "Oh yeah, excuse me, they manipulated me to rob banks and shit." Yeah, the white
Right.
girl.
They said she had Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, I
She
remember
was
her.
lying.
Oh yeah,
She was lying. She was down with it.
oh yeah.
Okay. So, like I'm saying, so Chokwe Lumumba, he ran for office in Jackson, Mississippi, became mayor. Then he mysteriously died.
As they always
So,
do.
so then his son, Chokwe Jr., he ran and became mayor. You know, saying that he was following in his father's footsteps, right?
Okay, okay.
But then, guess what he did?
What's up?
He sold out to the rednecks and start using the Jackson police force to go ahead and patrol outside the county at their malls. He then contracted the Jackson Police Department to work outside their jurisdiction because when you go into another county, that's outside your jurisdiction. Am I
Yeah,
right or wrong?
you're right.
He then contracted to have black police officers go and patrol white businesses, therefore taking protection from the black neighborhoods, letting the crime rate then climb. So then he could say, "Well, oh look at these Negroes. They don't." You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he undermined the whole city of Jackson, and the city ain't recovered yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't be
He
surprised.
also
And he's African
he
too, right? Or did he just
yeah,
change
he
his name?
African.
Okay. Because there's some people
So
who be changing their names sometimes, and we don't know. But I believe what you say. If you say he did it, he did that shit. I'm not even
so
surprised.
then he allowed the government of Mississippi, which was Republican led, he allowed them to go ahead and destroy the low income black community over, let's say, about 5,000 homes
And
because
Mississippi's
down
already
there,
crazy too. Mississippi already looks crazy as it is, and they're just doing
right,
more damage to it.
right. Back then they used to have what's called a shotgun house,
Mm.
meaning that it was a one bedroom home, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
was very affordable. And so black families, they had this place to raise their children and so forth. Well,
Mm.
he leveled everything around Jackson State University all the
Mm.
way to downtown.
Damn.
And to make it even worse, they desecrated black graveyards. They bulldozer over them.
That's crazy.
Jackson State's practice field is over a graveyard. You can Google it. You can find out for yourself. Okay.
That's
They removed the headstones, but they did not dig up the bodies.
that's crazy. Hey yo, did you know?
Yeah,
Did you know the white supremacists have been eating people's bodies since the 1970s?
man, they've been eating our bodies since.
That's when they stopped too. They stopped that in the 1970s.
Yeah, but they was eating our bodies as soon as they came into contact with us,
Yeah,
because they thought we were immortal because we didn't age like they do
that's crazy.
because they lack melanin.
Hey
You see
yo,
now
you
they
know who's from Mississippi?
who?
Ricky Rose from Miami.
Yeah,
He was born in Mississippi. The
another coon.
yeah, he sold out.
Okay, Oprah was born in Mississippi. Another coon.
And the thing about
You
it,
didn't know
yo,
that.
they be selling out Mississippi, and Mississippi can be so beautiful, you know.
Well, check this out. Mississippi is Mississippi. Let's just
Yeah.
keep it like it is. It was the capital of the Confederacy. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the heart of white supremacy. So it ain't never gonna change.
Mhm.
I love Mississippi. I'm FBA. I'm Choctaw and black, but we can honestly tell you that Mississippi is not good for. Even though we have a lot of people down there, they have no economic power.
Yes, that's what they need. They
even
be
without
reaching
spending
for.
dollars,
Yeah, they. I
even
think.
without own.
Let me tell you something. I got a theory about Mississippi. I think they're gonna end up fixing that soon. I'm talking about foundational Black Americans. I personally think they're
Well,
gonna fix. Go on.
a lot of people who moved out of state are now coming back because they can't afford to live other. I mean, I have an aunt. She lived out in California. She got money too.
Mm,
Ooh, loot, loot, loot. Right.
yeah.
At first, she moved her ass to Vegas to take
Ooh.
advantage of all them loopholes. Right.
Yeah. A lot of people's moving to Las Vegas. 50 just moved out there.
Yeah, but see, being here in L.A., I start noticing a lot of Nevada plates are starting to show up back in L.A. again
Hmm.
because the money done dried up because Trump done fucked everything up.
Yeah. I knew that shit was gonna
Yeah,
happen. But the thing about it,
yeah,
I was telling people, I know he's gonna fuck it up, but I know that we need this right now. This is what we need right now. These people to fuck up and the thing about it, they can't blame Black Americans. They gotta blame
yeah. Well, see,
themselves.
yeah, well, see, they've always done that. Now, going back to off the subject, so let me tell you about Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Theodore Roosevelt was a New Yorker,
Mm.
and what happened is because back then they were, the railroads were being built across the country.
Yeah.
The meat production, they needed beef in order to feed the workers on the railroad, right?
Yeah.
So what Theodore Roosevelt did, he went and bought a ranch out west, and he started raising cows himself. And then
Mm.
he started learning how to hunt. He was out there shooting grizzly bears and all kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
Moose, all that. So once he started seeing the beauty of the West, he was like, man, we can't let these people destroy this. Yosemite, the Grand Canyon. So when he became president, he's the one who set up the national park system through the Department of
Mm.
the Interior. So this is where you get all your national parks from, because he was the first conservative, meaning that he wanted to preserve everything that America had, its natural resources. He didn't believe in no strip mining. He didn't believe in none of that. He said this is pristine nature and we need to preserve it.
Oh
Okay?
shit. So let me ask you a
Now,
question. I'm gonna break this down. Do you think that was right what he was doing, or do you think the thing that he was doing back in those days was a proper thing that is supposed to be happening now?
yeah, so understand this. Uh, Even though um, Theodore Roosevelt was an outdoorsman, meaning he liked to be outdoors and go camping and all that,
Yeah.
he also was a learned man. He was a progressive. Let's just say he was a progressive Republican, right?
Okay.
So he read a lot of books, right? One of the books is called The Octopus,
Hmm.
okay? And it was telling about how immigrants coming over from Poland, Germany, Ireland were put into the meat production plants, and that they were seeing all kind of filth. I mean, rat droppings, dead humans, everything falling into them sausages, right?
Yeah. And we would
Because
eat it.
this was before refrigeration, right?
Yeah.
So, to preserve the meat, they usually used to grind it up into sausage, right?
Yes.
So everybody used to get them kibasas and all that, right? That's in Chicago, New York. That's where the meat packing plants were, right?
Yeah.
When he read this, he then made the Food and Drug Administration, and he started sending inspectors into the meat packing places to go ahead and start doing inspection to make sure that the food was a lot cleaner. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Especially the meat. Okay. Then on top of that, you got to remember he came in during the early 1900s, right?
Okay.
That's when cocaine was like out of control. You could get cocaine at the drugstore, right,
Oh
without a
yeah,
prescription.
that's facts too.
And remember, yeah, and then they used to put cocaine in the Coca Cola.
Oh yeah.
All of this is public knowledge, but for some reason they don't teach all this in school because they want to gloss over it. They'll tell you everything all the way almost to the Civil War. Then after that, they start glossing over history.
Yep.
Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, I've been noticed that. That's why when I was like, oh yeah, they're trying to take Black Americans out of schools and stuff like that because this is where my problem is now, and this is where I say this is why I don't really have sympathy for Charlie Kirk, and the reason why is because when Black History happened, the history of what happened to Black Americans or foundational Black Americans or even Native Blacks, people wanted to hide it. People wanted to hide because people's feelings. All of a sudden, this motherfucker gets killed, a mediocre fucking podcaster. That was put. And the thing about reason why they made him mediocre, yes, he had views, but at the end of the day, what's mediocre about him because he had to have $1 billion put behind him to make him look at least half decent.
Man, that nigga didn't even graduate community college. What the fuck they talking about? That motherfucker was not smart.
Oh yeah, he wasn't. But at the end of the day, if you put millions and billions of dollars behind somebody, you could look amazing. You could look like you don't need to go to college.
Exactly.
You
But
know.
see, this is the whole thing about it with Charlie Kirk and so forth. Did you hear about that fallout they had a couple months before he died
Which
with the
one?
TP
Charlie Kirk
TP
and
his
who?
organization?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I heard about it, but I don't know a lot about it. So,
Oh man, they all right. So they had a little meeting, right? It was a conference, right?
mm-hmm.
And it turned into a Diddy party, right?
Go ahead. I want to hear this now.
Hey man, look, they was bringing that bussy up in there. They was having boys come up in there. The dudes was bringing them in. The girls was fucking married men. They was doing all kind of drugs.
So let me
They
ask
was
you a
having
question,
cats.
Dorsey. I did a show on that, and I said, yo, I think there was bussy activities involved.
There was a lot of bussy going on.
Okay, so
So they was on that bussy, right? Bussy will change your life.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You know. So so and you know who else was involved in that bullshit?
Who?
Pearly things. Old girl Pearl.
Hannah Davis.
Yeah,
Come
Pearly
on,
things. Her little monkey ass was there too. Cause
Jesus Christ.
then I guess the girl name is Molly or something like that. They started putting airing each other's dirt in public.
Oh Lord. Yo, let me tell you
Yeah, talking
something.
about Pearlie was on that soul pole
Mm,
and that she had HIV
Jesus
and
Christ.
let's see, she said the other chick was a single mom who old man abandoned her and all that. Hey man, it got real messy, right?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to look that up now. See what she says. Pro ain't gonna.
Now I'm not trying to step on your toes and stuff because I like your show and I'm hoping that it builds up and people become more aware because you're a real good dude, man.
Thank you. I
You,
appreciate that.
right, but this is dude called Plugsation, Plugsacian, like plug sack and then Asian,
All right,
right? Catch a
plugcation.
couple of his shows and he'll discuss a whole bunch of bullshit about what was going on with TP.
Hold on, say
Okay,
plug what?
Plugsation, plug sack, just SACIAN.
Okay, IAN. All right.
Yeah, I call in there all the time.
Plugsation. Is it together?
hmm Yeah, it's all together.
Okay, Plugsation. All right. I'm about to subscribe to him now. All right.
Okay, so on when I'm at his show, I play like the Charleston White type character.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So,
Because what happens is nobody wants to call. He has a phone line and nobody call. They all talk in the chat, but nobody wants to participate in any kind of meaningful discord as far as talking, right?
mhm.
So you have the trolls come in and out, and they say a little something, something, and all that. So nobody calls. So I can't really say, but me and Plug had a talk behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
With nobody. And I told him, look, man, let me be the one who stirred the pot, so that
Mm.
people will get more involved, because they be like, take Dorsey off, he talking crazy, yada 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 yada, you know.
It's always like
Because
that, yeah.
I'm pro FBA all day. You see
Facts.
where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I feel you.
So the little crackers and hillbillies don't like it when I get in their ass about the shit that they be doing. Because first of all, Charlie Kirk was fucking them damn co-eds.
Yeah, I believe that shit. Oh, Charlie,
Now
yeah.
come on, man. Now come on, man. You riding across the country and you visiting 100 college campuses. You a multi-millionaire and you don't think you're gonna have some groupies?
I'm gonna say this. I think Nick Fuentes said some. No, Candace Owens said something that hit me in my head. Was that I don't think Charlie Kirk's marriage is real. I don't think that shit's real because how does fucking Donald Trump know your wife before you know your wife?
Check this out. Didn't Epstein know Melania Trump before Trump did?
Mm-hmm. So she was at those
See,
freak fests.
you got to understand, man. This is not a conservative movement. It's a
Elite.
Illuminati movement,
Yep, or an elite.
right? Now, understand this: the world is going through a political battle right now. You
Mm-hmm.
have the globalists versus the white supremacists.
Yeah. MAGA
Do you know
versus
the difference?
I'm about to pimp you something. MAGA versus America First. There you go.
Exactly. So, do you know the difference between a globalist and a white supremacist?
Tell me.
Okay, a globalist believes that only the rich should rule the world.
Mm-hmm.
The elites, whether you Chinese, African, uh, European, South American, long as you got that money, you get to call the shots what's going on in your part of the world,
Facts.
right?
Give me a second. Yeah, you are right. You're right about that, OC. That's why I say, yeah, I don't know if that marriage was real or not, or if it was an open marriage. Don't
It
forget,
was open.
like Dorsey said. Dorsey said that he probably had some side chicks because at the end of the day, he was always on the road.
Excuse me.
Go
I'm
on,
hitting this.
Dorsey. I just had to say that. Go on.
No, I'm in this vape right now.
Oh, go on, man.
Yeah,
Get your
the good
thing on.
stuff. Yeah. So like I'm saying now, the white supremacists believe that only white people should rule the world,
Mm-hmm.
no matter where you at.
Oh yeah.
You, Now that's the difference between the two. So that's the reason why Trump is so much against China, because
Mm.
China then came up with all these billionaires, right?
Yeah.
So then China runs Southeast Asia. You see where I'm
That's
coming
true.
from?
Yeah, that's true. I even think about that. That's true. I,
So even Vietnam has to bow down to China.
mm,
Even Korea got to bow down to China. You
yeah.
see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, they got them weapons. You think it's because they got those weapons?
In part, but because China got that money.
Ooh.
See, remember when in the '80s when Japan was the biggest threat to the United States as far as economy wise,
Yeah.
and then the United States, Ronald Reagan, them they attacked the Japanese, talking about they buying businesses and farms in America. We cannot allow this. We ain't supposed to be. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So once it moved from Japan, then they had to find a new enemy. Bill Clinton made that trade on the behalf of Walmart, and they made that them trade deals, and Walmart benefited from China from getting all them cheap ass products, right?
Facts.
Okay. Then when the Republicans came back in office, all of a sudden you at war. Remember, George Bush Jr. was at war with China, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Started sending surveillance planes over China and so forth, right?
True. That is
Okay.
true.
Okay, so everything is documented. You just got to connect the dots. That's it. That's it. Okay. Now back to what I was saying. Now I'm finna put some out there, and I know a lot of people are gonna be like, "Wow, Dorsey, you sure making a big leap." Remember when Kanye West went to Paris and got Jack, Kim and Kim?
Yeah. She got tied up and
Okay,
stuff. You talk about when she got tied up?
right, right. Now this is what this is. Let me put it this way. This is what I think what happened. I can't say 100%, but look how it played out, right?
Yeah.
Kanye went with Jay-Z to Paris, right?
Mm.
Okay, where is the headquarters of the Illuminati?
Is it Paris?
You damn right, in them damn tunnels. It's a whole city under Paris, in them sewers and shit.
mm.
They got cribs down there, so that's where they hold their meetings, right?
Mm.
So when Kanye went down there, Kanye being Kanye, he
Acting
got to
fool.
talking shit
Acting a
because
fool.
Jay Z was finna bring Kanye into the Illuminati,
Yeah.
but Kanye being Kanye said the wrong shit to the wrong people. Okay, and they told Jay Z, "Hey man, don't never send this clown over here no more. Don't do that no more. In fact, Jay Z, we forbid you to have shit to do with him from now on, right?"
Mm. You think that's
So
why he
then
talks about
Kanye,
his kids? That's why
yep.
you.
So
Oh, go on, go on.
so so then when Kanye and Kim went back to the hotel, the Illuminati sent them goons in on their ass, and they snatched their jewelry and said, "Hey nigga, we letting you know you can be touched, and not only we'll take your jewelry and we'll take your life. You better never say nothing bad about the Illuminati, right?"
Yeah, I believe that.
So immediately they jumped on the jet. Where did they go? They didn't come back to L.A. They didn't go to Chicago. They went straight to Donald Trump.
Mm, 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 mm.
And Donald Trump had those connections with the Russian mafia, and the Russian mafia told the Illuminati, "Hey, don't touch these people. Trump has called in a favor from us, and these people are hands off." Out of gratitude, Kanye West agreed to be Donald Trump's do boy. So
Ooh.
Donald Trump said, "Well, Kanye, since you know I'm protecting you and your wife, uh, you're gonna have to say some really degrading shit about black people in order to pay us back, right?"
Yeah.
So then that's when motherfucking Kanye came up to talking about slavery is a choice and that he was on opioids and all that other bullshit,
I
right?
don't want to be on my pills no more.
Yeah, you see where I'm coming from?
I get that.
Now, what we also then don't understand is that the Kardashians, those are motherfucking gypsy witches, nigga.
I can believe that.
Why
Just
do you think every man that fuck with them wind up going kooky wookie?
yeah, I think
Lamar Odom,
crackhead.
kooky wookie, right? Kanye. Kanye was already a lost cause before he even met the Kardashians. So
Yeah,
when they took his ass in, it just was,
three
one
times
big pizza
worse.
party.
Yeah, it was 3 times worse.
Right. So then
Bruce
you,
Jenner,
you
now
got to
he's a
look at it,
chick. Fucking Scott's an alcoholic. Fucking
right?
what's his name? James Harden still can't defend nobody.
Then look at Lamar Odom, crackhead.
Yeah.
Then look at Bruce Jenner, Changed his whole. Bruce Jenner was weak, so then that nigga gave up his nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
It's
Okay.
crazy.
So then you had all this going on with the Kardashians and so forth, right? They had to
Yeah.
mesmerize half of the females in America with that dumb shit. Why you think the women ran out and got BBLs? Who you think had the first BBL?
The Kardashians?
Yep.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Okay, now this is something that they don't tell y'all in history. The first sex slaves came through the Turkish Empire, the Ottomans,
I didn't know that.
right? They grabbed them kids like at like 11, 12 years old from Georgia, that's in Russia, Crimea, also Armenia, right?
Yeah.
If you look at some of them paintings from like the 12th, 14th century, you will see they always paint kids, pictures of kids with big brown eyes and dark hair, right?
Yeah.
Europeans don't have those features. Middle Easterners have them features, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
what would
true.
happen was those European nobles would buy those sex slaves, those little kids, and bring them into their bedrooms.
Jesus Christ. Well, yeah,
This is the
I
sex.
believe that because you know why? The Pope. This shit didn't come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Pope. Because let me tell you what the Pope used to do. Once them kids get of age, they used to kill them.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I believe that.
So these were the blood sacrifices of young children, innocent children now. And you got to remember, them people is from the Orthodox churches,
Mm, 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 mm,
the
mm.
original, not the Catholic Church, the Orthodox, the Greek, the Armenian, the Turkish. These are the people who ancestors probably hung out with Jesus Christ and
Mm,
Paul. You
that's
see what I'm
true.
saying? So, there's some kind of purity to them. The virgin, why do you think the virgin is so important to a lot of their blood rituals?
Yeah, that's true.
Babies, toddlers, young preteens, people who still haven't gotten sexually active. Okay?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, going back to what I'm saying, look, so now you have, why do you think Trump and them people always was so hooked up on Epstein Island?
Yeah, that's true.
Number of young girls taking their virginity, right?
Yep. And the thing about
Young
it, most
boys.
of those girls came from broken homes.
Exactly. But see, don't nobody never want to say that. Oh, they was fucking them little white girls, because then all of America, see, they always talk about the girls, but
Yep.
they don't never say white girls.
Yep.
You see where I'm coming from? So,
Facts.
so when you take the overall, and when you take a little piece of this puzzle, and then you get another piece of this puzzle. See, when you when you're doing 1,000-piece puzzle, where do you start off first at?
The top, right? The top.
The corners, everything that's
Yeah.
got a square line, you get the outline, right?
Yeah.
That's the easiest way to do the puzzle is you start the one with the straight because that's the outside border. So you then do the border first, then you
Oh,
start
hold on
filling
one
the
second. Hold on one
inside.
second. Hold on. What did they talk about? The black man accused they said the headquarters of the society are based in Belgium. Um, SB said the headquarter of darkness is based in Belgium. Um, we'll do a topic question. We'll do a documentary. We'll do a show on that. No worries. We're gonna do Illuminati. Ooh, that would be actually dope. Darcy, what you think? Do a Illuminati show?
Yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
you know what Belgium is, right? The
Uh
old name for Belgium used to be Flanders.
oh, Flanders. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it used to be called Flanders, and that used to be a part of France. It had French influence over them.
Mm, I could see that. Yeah.
You see where I'm coming from? And then when the Nazis came in and purified France of that depravity and shit, they then migrated north.
Mm.
But then after the war was over with, they went back to their same shit again,
Mm.
doing rituals in the sewers of Paris.
Yeah, I think the thing about I think they got rituals in I think they do those rituals in California too. I think that's why they call it
Yeah, because they got
Hollywood.
a place called what is it? It's a little resort, and they have this giant ass owl, 40 foot statue of a horned owl,
Jesus
saying the
Christ.
owl is a wisdom, so forth. I know what it's called. I can't think of it right now, but I can tell you, there was a dude. Did you ever used to watch the McLaren hour news hour
Here and there.
on PBS?
Yeah, here and there.
Okay, I don't know. See, you young, so you don't remember, how it used to be like back in 2000.
Oh.
Do you remember the tall white dude who looked like Herman the Monster and shit? And he real educated and everything, right? And
Um
he was a news reporter for them, right?
Mo-
He would be at the desk.
Mulch.
I don't know, but he a big
OC
tall
said
dude.
mulch.
Okay, Moat. Okay, he was part of that cult, and he brought
Mm.
in another dude with him, and the other dude recorded some of the rituals, some of the sex rituals.
Oh.
Okay, and one thing they said, in order for you to be reborn, you have to die first. So they would put the person in the casket
Mm. Mm.
and then blow blood over the casket.
Jesus Christ. That's crazy. That's why I
Yeah,
say,
it's here in
we
California.
all got to do a Illuminati show. We're gonna talk Illuminati definitely. We're gonna see who we think is a part of the Illuminati definitely in the live chat. But
Right.
but
So
oh, go on, Dorsey. I'm gonna give you 5 more minutes. I gotta go into these videos.
yeah. I'm just glad you gave me the opportunity to share some of this information with y'all.
Oh no, keep on going. We got 5 minutes. You good?
Okay, so the United States government is a part of the old Roman Empire.
Hmm.
The British government is a part of the old Roman Empire.
Okay, I can believe that.
Okay, remember when Rome was in his last days, they went and invaded Britain, right? That's where London came from.
Oh, okay. Damn, they did that.
So they were influenced by them, right?
Yeah.
But they never gave up on Britain because later on, under the what's his name, the Holy Roman Emperor, right?
Yeah.
He sent the Normans and the Saxons into into England to cleanse them of the real natives. The real natives of those islands were called the Picts
The
and the
pics.
Druids.
Druids. Oh shit. I didn't know that.
The Picts, Picts, were the people of Ireland. The Druids
Oh.
were the Celtic people who migrated from Russia because of Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan. They had to migrate west, till eventually they made it up to. See, these people are considered the tribes of Gog and Magog.
So they're tribes basically. So you're saying like
They're tribes,
the English, European, was it the English, the Irish, the Scottish? These are all tribes. These aren't really like countries.
right? They're tribes.
Okay.
That's why the Normans and the Saxons had animosity toward these people and tried to convert them over to their way of Christianity, the Roman Catholic Church way of Christianity, right?
Mm, yeah, I
You
believe that.
know, so then when they were able to do that, then they made them people their serfs, their slaves, their indentured servants,
Okay.
right, and sent them off to colonize the whole world. See that union? Because I'm saying this real quick because I only got so much time. Look, that Union Jack, the flag of England.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, what does the word jack mean?
Rob?
Yep. And then the word union means we all come together, right?
Yeah.
So we all coming together to rob the world. Now look at all the directions that flag go in.
Oh shit. I didn't think of that. The English flag, the UK flag.
Exactly, the Union Jack, meaning we finna rob everybody in the world: Hawaii, Australia, China, Japan, India,
And they,
Africa,
and they,
America.
and they really did too.
Yeah.
They really did
See
too.
the shit is in y'all face, but y'all can't put the pieces together because nobody gives you a reference point.
Hmm.
So now think of the Union Jack. Who the fuck goes and fight over the Falklands Islands?
Ooh. I didn't think of that. See, this is the thing. I don't be even thinking about that, man. That's crazy. And
But the Union Jack had to show that, nigga, you can't take shit from us. We the Union Jack. We'll fight for this shit. We took your shit and we keeping it. Ain't no getting it back.
oh yeah. Hold on one second. Let me read this. Why do you think YT folks go to these little countries so they can live out their sick fan? Ooh. OC said, "Why do you think YT folks go to these little countries so they can live out their sick fantasies and get away with it?"
Yeah. And now the Chinese doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, because you know what? They're the secondary of whiteness. Most people
Exactly.
don't
They
know
think
that.
they white too.
Yeah, that's why they're
Okay, now
Asian,
since you brought that subject
Caucasians.
up,
So they're from the same thing. They're from the same thing because that's why I was thinking about Asian, Caucasian. Only thing is just making the caucus, the part that right there you
right.
missing. Put it
Now
together is
you know there's
Caucasian.
two Asias, right?
No, tell me.
There's North Asia, which is white Asia, and then there's South Asia,
Oh
which
yeah,
is black Asia.
like Southeast and stuff like that. That's why if you
Right.
ever
Look
notice,
at India. Yeah, look at India, right?
yeah,
Now look at China, right?
yeah,
Now, if you didn't have the Himalaya mountain range, which is only 200, 300 miles wide,
mhm,
how can you get a diverse, entirely different representation as far as genetic wise? And you got to remember, India used to be a part of Africa that broke off
yeah,
the
that's true.
subcontinent.
Oh yeah, that's true. Cause they're mixed. Like I think personally, I think Indians are mixed. They're considered Asian, but
Exactly.
they're mixed. They're mixed with like probably Persian and Africans.
Right, because Alexander the Great, when he became a king of Persia,
Hmm.
he then tried to invade India, but them jungle people weren't having that shit, and they bust out with them elephants on their asses,
Yeah,
which spooked the horses. So then the horses, he was a Macedonian, right?
yeah,
So he believed in cavalry, meaning horseback people, right?
yeah,
So if you look at the Lords of the Ring, you remember Lords of the Ring?
yeah,
Remember how they had the elves and the humans and the dwarfs and all them motherfuckers, right?
yeah.
Why do you think that Bilbo Baggins sounded Irish and shit?
It was it packets, right? They were the packets, basically.
Right,
Mm,
exactly, because they were saying that look, the Irish is the least of us, but they're gonna do the most for us because they thieves. Look at
yeah.
them. Look how they say that shit, right?
They still, and the thing about it, that's what people think of Irish people. They're thieves. To this day,
Right.
people think Irish people are thieves. They're liars. They're manipulators. You can't
Drunks.
trust them. Drunks, yes.
Right. Now look how what they think of the elves. The elves is all elegant and got class and all that shit, right?
Hmm.
That's the French.
Oh
The
shit.
French and the Italians.
Mm, that's great.
And then the humans is regular ass English people, Americans and shit.
So this is basically the white race.
Right. Listen to the terminology, Middle Earth.
Mm.
Okay, now what does Mediterranean mean?
Is the was it the middle, right?
Middle Earth, terrain.
Mm, I didn't even know that. See.
That was a propaganda movie, homie.
Oh shit! Yo, you want to hear something crazy? I never seen a Lord of the Rings a day in my life. I seen them walking, and I woke up them walking, still walking, and I went back to sleep. So I went back to
That
sleep.
was the migration and influence of white people on the motherfucking world.
So damn, now I gotta watch the movie.
Now, look up Sargon. Sargon was a emperor of Persia.
You said Thurgon,
Sargon is in the Bible.
Sargon. Okay,
He was the emperor of Persia.
okay. Sargon.
Sargon, Sargon, in biblical reference. Put it that way, then they'll take you to the Lords of the Ring at first.
First ruler of Acadian Empire, known as the conquerors of the Sumerian city-state in the 21st to the 23rd century. Oh, okay. I can see it now.
Okay, then look at the picture. They have Sargon represented as an all-seeing eye.
Yep, I see it right now. That's the first picture.
The all-seeing eye is what on our money, the
Oh shit,
pyramids.
that shit is true. I'm looking at that shit right now. I will show
So
y'all,
what they're
but we're gonna
saying,
do a document. We're gonna do a show on this. I don't know if it's gonna be a Chocolate Man or a Bronze Reaper show. Most likely a Bronze Reaper show, but this shit is very interesting. You know?
so they're saying the money is in Africa.
Yeah, I believe that. Cause of the
In God we
resources.
trust.
Yep. The resources. The
Exactly.
oh yeah.
The riches of Africa, the gold, the diamonds, the beryllium, all that shit, aluminum, everything we need, precious metals, everything is in Africa.
That's why all these whites and Asians and Indians is going to Africa because they know that. We've been knew that, but we've been telling people that. But at the end of the day, we're gonna let all these people crash before anything happens. Before we let me tell you something. This is what's gonna happen. This is my theory, and I'm gonna end right here, and I'm gonna go into the video.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. I think Black Americans is gonna let everybody crash. Everything is gonna be disorganized. Black Americans is gonna get what they owe and deserved. Then after that, we're gonna get our stuff here in America, but then we're gonna go to Africa and show them how to really do it. And the thing about it, we're gonna benefit off of it. We're gonna change the laws and rules in Africa just so everybody with a black face can benefit off of it.
Yeah, but see, you got to understand, man. The way I look at it, I'm not fucking with no African. You a bunch of losers, nigga. Y'all got the richest motherfucking continent in control with the workforce, everything China got, and y'all
Hmm.
still begging, nigga.
This is why I
Y'all
say
still begging.
this is why I say, yo, once we get what we got in America, we're gonna get what we're gonna get in Africa.
Right. The only person that's really doing something is what's the dude, and they call him a dictator.
With the
Captain Traore.
yeah, oh the dude everybody's so he's gonna help us get our was it independence and shit like that. That dude, Faso or something like that.
Yeah, but see, you got to understand. Do you not see what the symbolism that's enacted on that?
Yeah, I see it. That's why I said
That's your Wakanda. That's your Wakanda right there.
but I think this is what's gonna happen. I think his people are gonna get him killed because they're so tribalistic.
Nah, see, this is what's gonna happen. Okay, I understand where you're coming from because jealousy,
Oh yeah.
jealousy and greed will get you killed,
Do
right?
you think? Let me ask you a question. Do you think they're gonna let this man create? I'm talking about other countries in Africa. Do you think these people are gonna let him create a fucking Uganda, a fucking dope ass country in his country, and not let them do it in their country? I don't think that's gonna
Check this
happen.
out. Check this out. You know who Fidel Castro was, right?
Oh yeah.
And what did Fidel Castro do?
He basically saved Cuba. He saved
Yeah, but
Cuba.
what he did was he made sure anybody who opposed him, he either put their ass in prison or they got shot.
Oh yeah.
One of the two. And so that's what that man got to do.
Oh yeah.
Anybody who speak against what the movement, hey man, I got to put you down, dog.
Yeah. You know what he did with the people in jail?
What?
He sent them to America because of Jimmy
Thank
Carter.
you.
Because of Jimmy Carter. Jimmy
You see
Carter
where I'm
was
coming
talking
from?
about, oh yeah, he's inhumane to his people. You know what he said? He said, yo, I'm gonna let all of y'all out. If you don't leave this country, you're going right back to jail.
Right.
All those people. There's this guy in Chicago. He created one of those Latinos. I think it was a Latin King gang in Chicago. He was in jail for killing somebody in Cuba. What's his name? I think they call him Little Blood or some shit like that. They let him out of
Mm-hmm.
Cuba and sent him to America. He went to Chicago and started a whole fucking gang.
Exactly. That's what they do, bro.
Yeah, I
That's
think
what
his
they
name is like
do.
Little Blood or King Blood. I don't know what the no. They used to call him Little Hitler. They used to call the man Little Hitler.
Mm. Mm.
So,
Now
cause
I know you got to get back to your show because you got some stuff to showing. Because
oh
you know
yeah.
I done sucked up all the room in the air. I'm sorry about that.
Oh no,
But
no,
I
you
do
get you got
encourage
you
you.
got you got good response, man. You got good response, definitely. Even SP's Mexican and he's agreeing with most of the stuff you're saying, definitely.
Well, understand this: the Mexicans are royalty too. They don't understand this. Y'all are royalty, so why y'all bowing down to these white motherfuckers?
Yeah, man. That's why I was telling
The
the dude.
royalty, the royalty is with the people of pigment, the people
Yeah,
of color.
that's what I was telling the dude from Puerto Rico and stuff. He was trying to say that like, oh yeah, the Puerto Ricans out here, they were the real ones that were in the war in Florida. I'm like, yo, this is the first time I'm hearing this. You know,
But you got to understand. Look, man, we had an empire here in America.
oh
That's
yeah.
what FBA's now we waking up and shit. Like, wait, hold up.
Mhm.
We were the mound people of the Mississippi Valley, bruh.
Yeah.
We was on, we entombed our people. We didn't have no quarries. We didn't have no stones and shit to go dig shit up. So we made do by using wood and using mounds of dirt.
Oh yeah.
So we built pyramids, but they were just low level, just like in Mexico. They built shit too.
Oh
They
yeah.
just had access to stones. We didn't.
Yeah, that's true. They went on by their environment.
Right. We were the ones who was eating deer. We was the one who was eating pheasant, quail. We was eating good, man,
Oh
until the
yeah.
white man came and took our shit.
Facts. You know. But I'm gonna say this.
So anyway,
There's a
man,
place
like
that.
I said,
Oh, go ahead. Go
check
ahead. Go ahead.
out Plug. If you hear anything with Dorsey, that's me. They think I'm a maniac, and that's to throw them off so that they don't understand that, man, you're talking to a knowledgeable person. See,
Yeah.
just like Charlton White said, when I used to talk intelligent, you didn't listen to me.
Mhm.
But as soon as I act a fool, I started getting more people paying attention to me, right?
Oh yeah.
But see, I'm among my peers. And see, Plug got his audience, and I got my people. I got my peers.
Facts.
So I can't sit up here and play the simpleton with y'all because y'all can see through that shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but at the end of the day, you could always be yourself on my show, and that's what I always appreciate about
And that's
everybody.
what, and that's the reason why I want your show to grow. That's why, like I said, Plug, talk to him. He's from Texas, right?
Okay.
Originally from Arkansas.
Okay. Okay.
And then just talk to him. And then hey man, if y'all can collaborate and do some stuff together, his show is more conspiratorial
Oh, okay.
about conspiracies and so forth.
So I gotta be a student. I gotta be a student on that show. I can't really say anything. I could say some stuff, but I would want to listen
You
and
can say
learn from
whatever you
him.
want. Plug ain't no damn
No, but
scholar.
what I mean is that's not my lane. And with he talks about, I gotta listen. So definitely I could give
Yeah,
some
that's
feedback,
true.
but
That's
definitely I will
true.
say stuff. I will say stuff that I do believe in, but I do have to listen to him. You know?
Okay, but being honest with you, Plug really didn't get into that conspiracy shit until Charlie Kirk got killed.
Oh damn. So
And
he
then
was
that
on.
money started pouring in, right? He started getting a lot of people who wanted to talk about it, right? That's like
Yeah.
many of us, you know.
Yeah.
The Charlie Kirk shit blew up because then white folks, that's all they wanted to talk about, Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens.
Yeah.
You
Cause
see where I'm coming from?
yeah, I think Candace Owens knows some shit that she's not really saying. I do think that.
Yeah, she got that money. So,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
money talks.
And plus, she's
And
she's
bullshit,
protected too. Don't forget, she's protected by the royal family in England. Her husband, what's his name, George Farmer. Look him up. He's not just no
Union
regular.
Jack, nigga.
Yeah, he ain't no just regular no British person. He is of royal
Right.
family. So,
Exactly. So understand this. Look, what's the chick who got kicked out the royal family?
um, I don't even know.
Merkel,
Merkel.
Markle, whatever her name was.
Oh,
The one,
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle, right?
Yeah.
See, she didn't know how to act. She thought she was the shit. That's because she had that white girl in her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, Candace is pure nigga.
Yeah.
So she know her motherfucking role.
Oh yeah. And she's Caribbean too, so she knows how to stay in her place. You know.
Right.
So.
And it's not her standing in her place. She knows how to manipulate motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, especially her husband, man. What you don't hear shit from him, but at the end of the day, I think he's working the scenes, and people don't
Exactly.
know. But hey yo, give
Exactly.
me a
See, ain't
second.
nobody gonna
Give
touch.
me hey yo, give me a second. You can talk to the people right now. Say what you need to say. I'll be right back. I gotta run to the bathroom real fast.
Okay, this is what's going on. We're looking at a new dynamics in world politics. Like I said, you got the white supremacists against the globalists. Now, a lot of rich white folks is like, look, we ain't with that bullshit Donald Trump pushing. He fucking up our money. We cannot openly speak against this motherfucker because he'll put tariffs on us. But behind the scenes, they're getting the black people to do their dirty work. You know, why you think we stayed up out of this shit? It's not because, we wanted to say no. It's because they paid them to say, hey, man, keep the black folks out of it. And the reason why they don't want us involved is because once we get involved, shit get hyped. Everybody love our shit. Everybody love to see black folks go out there and cut the ass. Because when we do it with passion. You understand what I'm saying? It's ride or die with us. And that's what America lacks. It lacks those true patriots. See them conservatives, them rednecks, the MAGAs will go out there and act a fool. But see, they don't act a fool with us. You got your chance to come up here and fuck with the black folks, but you don't. You fuck with the Mexicans. You fuck with them tethers. You deport them motherfuckers, but when you come with us, nigga, ain't no deport, nigga. We are import, nigga. Y'all brought us in. We was the fine wine.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come fuck with us, you can't come with no deport. You got to come with an escort, cause we gonna fuck you up. And we got guns too. You can talk that federal troop shit if you want to, but half the federal troops is what? People of color. You think we gonna turn on our own people? You got us fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep that shit real.
Okay.
America
No, go ahead.
America needs us.
Oh yeah, they can't do without us.
They can't. And you heard what I was saying, right?
Oh yeah. No, I was listening.
That's why even though we a small percentage in California, we run this motherfucker.
Facts.
Okay. Leaving with this one, and then you ever seen 300?
Yeah, the Spartans and stuff.
Yeah. Remember when the dude from Africa said, "Oh man, you ain't bring that many soldiers with you and shit,
Yeah.
We got more people, right?"
Yeah.
And then old boy said, "Hey," he turned to one of them strangers. He said, "Hey man, what's your profession?" He said, "I'm a baker," right? I'm like, okay. He asked the other dude, "What you do?" He said, "Man, I'm a metals worker." He said, "So none of your professions is soldiers, right?" He said, nah. He said, nigga, I brought 300 professional soldiers. What the fuck you talking about? You
Facts.
gotta you gotta remember, we fought these motherfuckers. We was called renegades.
Hmm.
We just picked the wrong side to side with in the French and Indian War. We sided with the wrong side.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. Cause
You
at
know
the
what I'm saying? The French was just as evil as the motherfucking English.
yep, if not evil, more evil.
Right.
You know, don't forget at the time, Napoleon was fucking shit up. He almost controlled the whole world.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. But what was they fighting over? The whole motherfucking world.
yeah, they were fighting over land and colony. You know, they just
Because they
didn't know.
knew.
They just didn't know that those people that they grab, and I think personally, and this is why I said I believe in the Hebrew Israelites ideology. If you ever look at the Levi group, they're called the tribe of Levi. Those were the not the
They were the
brutes.
handpicked.
Yeah,
They
those.
were the handpicked.
There you go. There you go.
Now, if you want to go into that, you know that you had to pay in order to keep your kids out of the priesthood, your firstborn, right?
Hmm.
So that's what also went to the priest. If you didn't want your son to be no priest, you would pay like 50 pieces of silver, and they would be like, all right, we're going to give him a pass. Because a lot of men was like, man, I don't want my son wasting this damn time. Let's keep it real now. Not
Hmm.
all, not all Jews is Hebrews.
Hmm.
That's why they hate us. Do you know the difference between a Hebrew and a damn Jew?
Hebrew is a bloodline. Is a bloodline. I know that. It's a lineage.
Exactly.
It's a tribal because don't forget it's 12 tribes of them. So people keep
12
on.
sons.
Yep.
Look, think about it. It's 12 sons of Yaqub, of Israel.
Hmm.
Okay? Okay, that was his 12 sons, his bloodline.
Yep.
That's what the 12 cried. So you got to understand DNA tests are forbidden in Israel now.
Yeah.
Because they know they ain't got no lick of motherfucking that African blood in them. Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. The
Yeah.
only thing I say with the tribe of Israel is, hey man, they lack discipline.
Oh yeah.
They lack discipline. Just cause a nigga put on a t-shirt with a fringe, don't make you no damn Hebrew.
Yeah. Facts.
You gotta learn that language. You gotta read that language. Only way you can break that Jew down is by being able to speak and read and have everything Hebrew. Cause then he gonna challenge you like, do you speak it? Then what the fuck you look like a damn fool?
Oh yeah.
Because you ain't dedicated to it. If you believe in that shit, get into them books like them Jews do
Hmm.
and rock with it. Put your little earphones on and rock with that shit.
Facts. And that's and
You
the
see
thing
what I'm saying?
about it. And the thing about it, that's what people are actually doing these days now. So
Exactly. See,
this
the
is why
people
people are
who
getting mad too. This is why I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end it. This is why people got mad at Kyrie Irving of what he says. Kyrie Irving sees himself as a Hebrew Israelite. Most people
check
don't
this out.
understand that. This is why people got mad at Kyrie Irving. They wasn't trying to understand him. But the thing with Kyrie Irving, he was just saying too much. He was saying
Right,
too
but see, you
much.
got to understand, bro. You are descendants of Shem.
Hmm.
I am descendant of Ham.
Oh yeah.
I don't sit up here and play that game with niggas and be talking about, oh yeah, man, I'm an evil. No, nigga, I know who I am. That still don't mean that I don't worship the same God.
Who? You're not a him. Him is like East Africans.
Hamite,
Yeah,
a
Hamite people.
Hamite. Yeah, I'm a Ham, dog. I'm red bone.
Yeah, but those are East Africans. That's why you if
Well,
you
where you think Ethiopia is, bro?
yeah, that's Ethiopian, but that's their own tribes. Those are different tribes.
Right, right, right. But see, you got to understand, I can't go sit up. See, this is one thing about Dorsey. I have to keep it real with y'all. I'm not finna pretend to be something I'm not. I know myself.
I think let me tell you
I know
something.
my family history. If we was already look, think about it, bro. If we was already here in America and not in the Holy Land, then what were we?
Everybody was scattered around the world. That's what you also have to see.
Exactly.
But also
Even the
too,
people of
I
Ham.
don't think you understand too. that people who were native, they were Hebrew Israelites too. They have training of Hebrew Israelites. They were just a different
Right.
tribe.
I understand that part. I understand that we family. You understand? We
Mm.
family. I can't argue with that shit.
But
But at the
Hamanite,
same
but
time,
Hamanites and Israelites is different. That's totally different. They're not even from the same tribe.
yeah, but think about it. Ham them originated in Egypt, Libya, Morocco. Look at the Bible. He took
Hmm.
that part of the world.
Yeah.
He gave Iraq, Iran, and so forth to Shem, and then Joseph went up to Troy. Why do you think that white girl Helena Troy ran off with Paris? Because he was a brother. He was suave, sophisticated. The nigga took a bath.
Hmm. That's why they were
And
spread all
you know that
around the
nigga looked like
world.
Rick Fox, right?
Yeah, but they were spread around the world because they got out of captivity. But Moses' prophecy was that everybody is going to be back in everybody's going to be packed in
Exactly.
captivity, but spread around the world. We were
Right.
just spread.
Once we went into captivity under the Romans and so forth, remember we were sent to Spain.
Yeah, hold on. This is what happened. We fought against the Romans. This is why we left and
Mm-hmm.
went to Egypt. The reason why we went to Egypt because we kind of looked like them because people couldn't tell the difference, but we weren't
Mm-hmm.
them. Those were Hammonites. When we left Hammonite, when we ran from Egypt, Moses freed us. Once Moses freed us, he said like, "Yo, you will go back into captivity, but you will be spread around the world and you will lose your culture."
Right.
This is why we're getting our culture back. But people are not understanding. And this is why I tell people all the time. I do believe in the ideology of Hebrew Israelites, but I think people in America who are a part of America,
Mm-hmm.
we need to get our culture back first before we help anybody else. We cannot help everybody at the same time because at the end of the day, this shit is not going to work. We already tried it. We've been trying it for 80 to 90 years. These people been calling
Right.
us Akatas. These people been calling us Yankees and all this other crazy shit. So now I feel, and this is why I said with this era right now, I think everything that we're saying from foundational Black Americans to Hebrew
The
Israelites
cops came. Somebody shouting to see you
it
too.
connects, and the reason why it connects because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to figure it out. People already know us as, and I'm gonna say, we're we are the tribe of Jacob, and the reason why we are the tribe of Jacob because we are special ones. Everything we touch, everything we do, everybody everybody has to tether off of it. Everybody feels it. Everybody can relate to it. That was the difference between the tribe of Jacob and the tribe of other people. Yes, you have Benjamin, you had Levi, you had Issachar, you have all these others. But one thing about Jacob, there that was the bloodline of Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
There's something different about us. There's something different about us from the Hammonites and to these other people because at the end of the day, I think the only way we're gonna really get out of this, and people always say that we need Africans, we
Excuse me.
always need Caribbeans to come together. No, they need us. They need us more than we need them.
We are the leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so understand this. Yes, I do have Hebrew in me through my mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I also recognize the contributions of my father also, right?
Absolutely. Never forget about that.
Okay,
Definitely.
right. So because of the contributions of my father and so forth, I honor my father by carrying on the intelligent fight that he had. Because remember, the Indians, we got defeated, right?
Yeah.
They took our shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but my family was able to outsmart their ass by retaining 400 acres of prime land
Mm-hmm.
with mineral rights and all this shit. It's called Starter, Mississippi, right? It's
Facts.
over there off of Edwards Road. If you was to Google it, it's right near a lake. So we have a swamp that's on the borderline of our property.
Mm.
So we have oil, natural gas, timber, and that's how we pay the taxes. Man, 400 acres? You think them white folks will let us hold on to them 400 acres?
Mm-mm.
Thank you. But we had to use our intellect to say, well, look, we're going to sell the mineral rights uh, to the oil company to let them go ahead and drill that oil, and we get a check from that.
Mm.
We also get the natural gas off of that, and then every now and then we'll sell some pine. We'll let them clear an acre or two to pay off the taxes. Nobody wants to go into the family wants to go down there and just be like pioneer and start our own shit. But me,
Yeah.
but see, I'm the outcast. I'm
Yeah.
too smart for my own good.
Well, they need people like you, so that's a good thing. Never
Oh,
look at it as a bad thing.
one day I will have leadership in the family, but it's based on my decision. See, I got to be equipped myself. See, I can't go back to Mississippi broke, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one who gonna have to. I got a settlement I'm waiting on here in California. That's why
Yeah.
I'm staying in California for right now, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one who wants to go down there, and I just want to buy 10 acres,
Oh
and I
yeah.
know I'm gonna get it real cheap because the family don't see no value in it.
Facts.
But when I develop it, then the rest of the family gonna be like, the youngsters. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gonna be like Uncle Dwight, how we cousin Dwight, how we can we get into this? And then I'm gonna show them
Yep.
because see, I want to go on from the agricultural aspects of the family.
Yep.
You know how many goats I can raise on that motherfucking land?
Facts. True.
Chickens, catfish, all kind of shit, bro. This is what black folk we excel in life. So why are we fucking with artificial life?
Yeah.
Niggas always gotta eat. Why ain't we got chickens in our yards? Why ain't
Mm.
we growing our own shit? We already know this shit is poisoning us. So why are we still going to eating them white man salad when we can
Facts.
grow our own shit? We know that watermelon and greens and corn and all that shit, you can do that right there in your own backyard out of pot if you got to be so bougie about it.
Mm.
It's time we get back, man. The black man. Did you hear what chat shit said about us?
No, I say it.
Man, he said that we are the perfect motherfucking humans. We have the blueprint of
Yeah.
the original motherfucking black people.
Oh
That's
yeah.
why God made us. Why do you think that we the same color as the dirt? Because we one tune with the earth. That's why we have joy when and they can't understand how can they be happy? They don't have nothing because we at home, nigga. This is our house,
Mm-hmm.
planet Earth. They can't take that from us.
Facts.
We in tune, electromagnetically in tune with this we see rhythm where white folks only see chaos.
Mm.
That's why they can't motherfucker understand where we get our rhythm from, our music, our culture, our
Yeah.
poetry, our heart. They don't understand. You can't kill us, baby.
Yeah.
You got to kill the planet Earth before we die off. We don't die. We multiply with white women. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
y'all talking about? Well,
Yeah.
think about it,
Fact.
bro. They women flock to us because they
Yeah.
mamas tell them, get somebody tall, dark, and handsome. Shit, we the
Facts.
most beautiful people there are.
Mm, yeah. But I
Yeah,
I
but
got
anyway, bro, see, you gotta go.
yeah. I
I'm
gotta
gone.
go. I
Bye.
go. Go. I gotta go. Shout out. Shout out to Dorsey. Dorsey does his thing, man. He did spit some wisdom, and I'm glad y'all picked it up and stuff. Let me see what most of y'all said before we start. The God is a fallen angel. Call God real. Church. Our people are in line with nature. The facts, OC. You're right about that. Facts. She knows her place. True. Um, it's a war between Masons. Yeah, I think there is a war between Masons. I do agree with that. Who's it? It's not in the interest of FBA. Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind, Ray Ray. Uh, we are not helping the world. No, we don't need to. Not right now. We can't help the world, Ray Ray. You're right about that because you know what? We need to handle our shit first. That's why I said that. I said we can't help anybody else if our shit is fucked up. So you are right about that. White folks don't have the endurance. Nah, they don't. OC, they don't have the endurance. We are not fighting the National Guards for immigrants. Facts, Ray Ray. We can't. No. Mm-mm. There is no fight for FBAs. We are American. Yup, that's what we are. Then Russia gave Napoleon a lesson. Yeah, that's true. That actually is true. OC. Napoleon haven't never recovered after that Russian joint. He escaped, but he didn't recover. Our people are just working on figuring it out. Yeah, we are figuring it out. Remember, our Israel and Judah was separated. Yeah, that's true. That's why I was saying we would spread all around the world and stuff like that. Even some, we gotta even say this: some people in Africa are Israelites. You know, so yeah, I do agree with that. Um, Judah stays in the Holy Land, then Chapel. Yeah, you're right. LOL. Shout out to Raymond. Ray's awesome. But let's start this video. Let's get busy.
At Freedom Plaza. That's on a Saturday. Everybody needs to be out there. We got a lot of phenomenal speakers I'm going to be hosting. We're going to have Riza Islam, Vicky Dillard, Randy Short, Afro Elite, Black Alpha. So many phenomenal people. Sister Dr. Mayat. It's going to be a very powerful, powerful event, and we're going to have the legendary hip hop legend Big Daddy Kane performing. So you don't want to miss this, DC. In fact, family, I want to if I post up the flyer, the loser flyer, since I do schizophrenic, um, as a witch's titty, and I'm walking around in shorts. So yeah, this Atlanta weather is real funny style, and there's water pipe leakages all over the city. I don't know what's going on with that. There was a major water outage. A main pipe busted downtown, and it just shut the water off for a large area of downtown. I had to change hotels because my hotel, the whole hotel, didn't have water. We couldn't bathe, we couldn't flush the toilet. Megan the Stallion, they had a concert here. They had to cancel the concert because of the water. And the hotel I was staying in before, it was full of Megan the Stallion fans and Glorilla fans who were stuck because they couldn't go to the concert. So just imagine just hundreds of musty strippers stuck at a hotel. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't make no money. They don't know what to do. So it's a lot going on out here in Atlanta. It's a lot going on out here. But shout out to ATL. Much respect to ATL. But anyway, so today's the question is, what has Pan Africanist groups? What have they accomplished? I saw a tweet earlier. Somebody was talking about how Malcolm X wanted Black Americans and the independent African nations to link up. And okay, a lot of folks don't know those African nations low key rejected really linking up with us. They rejected that to a certain degree. And we always get people hopping in our mix trying to do the Pan Africanist thing. Oh, y'all ain't FBA, y'all is really African. They keep trying to Africanize us. Yo, African roots, you never stop being African. Y'all is African peoples. No matter how long ago y'all been away from Africa, you is African peoples. And these Pan-Africanist groups, they always get into our reparations conversations. Family, let's ask a real question. What do these Pan-Africanist groups actually accomplish? And that's a legitimate question. That's not a gaslight. Do we have any Pan-Africanists?
This is the whole thing about the disrespect from of Black Americans from Pan African movement. You know, they always undermine Black Americans and the achievements in America. They also try to rewrite our history. You know. Also, when I say that is by gaining credit, we are our own tribe. Yeah, I agree with that. What you say, monkey slingshot, sling shift 9X. I think that's what it's called. Um, they try to, and the thing about it, they don't have to steal our credit. All they got to do is just be inspired and influential off of it to build their own country. I think that would be. I think that would be a great achievement if they do that. It will help their country and it will help us as well. Like they don't have to run out of their country. So this would help them. But I don't get it. Why do they undermine Black Americans? It just doesn't make sense. And also too lying about solidarity between Black Americans and the Black diaspora. There isn't any. You know, it's me. Oh, what's going on, Dorsey? Salute, salute, salute. You're on a new account. Okay. Um, but this, I think this, and I'll answer you. I'll read your OC next. I think Pan Africans had it fucked up. I think that they thought Black Americans are so grateful and nice, they can steal from us. You know, I think this is the problem. Stop stealing instead of just be influenced by it. Contribute to it. You know, you don't got to do all of that stuff. It'll just be easier for you to just contribute. Oh, yo, I got this from Black Americans or foundational Black Americans. Why not just, add on? Just add on to it. And also too, um, like Tariq Nasheed said, they're trying to latch on to reparation. And I think that's just so disrespectful. Instead of giving us credit for it, you be like, oh yo, thank African Union. While African Union got the joint from fucking Black Americans. While African Union did not help at all. Now they want to latch onto us. Man, they can eat a dick.
In the room. Just think about that, family. That's a legitimate question. What do they actually accomplish? These Pan African groups don't really ever accomplish anything. You're never in Africa. The people who are always telling us how we got to go to and build Wakanda and Akon City, they're never in Africa. They're always over here telling us what we should and shouldn't be doing.
Thanks.
And there's always this shaming tactic. If we don't sit here and make believe that we got some kind of Pan Africanist connection, oh, y'all ain't keeping it real. Y'all must be the FBI or something. Y'all must be the CIA or something. No, that's a projection because, truth be told, the CIA and the FBI in the 1960s and the 70s and now, but when you look at old documents, many of those Pan Africanist organizations were created by the CIA.
Remember I
Do y'all
said
know
that?
that? Many of them Pan Africanist organizations were actually CIA fronts. They had no problem sitting up here talking about, yeah, we need to
I'll
go
be
to the
right back. Give me
motherland.
like
And
3 minutes. I'll be right
that's
back.
not really a threat because the white supremacists know that Africa has already been decimated politically and economically. They know that. So us talking about going there, that's not a threat at all. They'll fund that. That's why they have African studies courses at all of these universities. They have no problem getting black folks and teaching us about all the things in Africa, which is cool. That's some of that knowledge is cool, but notice the white supremacists don't really have a problem with that. If we want to sit here and talk about all the things in Africa and ancient Africa and ancient Kemet, they'll fund that. But notice the energy changes when we start talking about our history and lineage and rightful compensation claims here on this land. Now that's when everybody starts getting their thong in a bunch, right? When we start talking about our foundational Black American history and our indigenous history here, then everybody gets on alert. Everybody's antennas go up. You understand? Everybody gets hostile. Look at how hostile they are towards us. When we start talking about, hey, this is our land, let's uncover our Black history here on this land. All of a sudden, people get real weird. And truth be told, and I talked about this some weeks before, you don't see a lot of anthropology talk in North America. You don't see a big um, mainstream study of anthropology in North America. They don't like to talk about some of the ancient things and artifacts they find in North America. You don't see that. Now, they got Egyptologists um, all day, every day, each way from Sunday. They'll talk about ancient Egyptology and all the archaeology there all day. They have no problem doing that. But in North America, boy, they don't like to talk about ancient archaeology. Because our good brother James Small said, yeah, every time they put a shovel in the ground, they're going to dig up something black. You see, they're not going to dig up the Siberian and the Mongolian red natives. They're not going to dig that up. When they start digging in the ground here in North America and all the Americas, you're going to start digging up some black stuff. You're going to dig up big noses and big lips and braids, just like they did down in Central America when a Mexican farmer was digging around and he found those Olmec statues buried in the ground. You see, there's a lot of that in the Americas. They don't like talking about it. But I want y'all to notice there's nothing coming to the Smithsonian and all of the authorities coming to the Smithsonian and all of the authorities saying, hey, listen, I was doing some study and some research, and a lot of these Native American and Aboriginal tribes that we keep talking about, you know they were niggas, right? And they, oh, he's crazy. Don't say that. They did that to Constantine Rafinesque. They tried to make him seem like he was an eccentric anthropologist because he kept telling people about all of the black Aboriginal tribes that were running around the Americas. These white men saying this stuff. So they kind of buried that history. So when we start talking about our lineage and our history here, that's when people get shaky. But nobody has a problem talking about Pan-Africanism and what goes on in Africa. And the Pan-Africanist always comes in our mix trying to shame us into upholding a false Pan-Africanist narrative that they're not holding up over there. Nobody over there is really trying to link up with us in real numbers unless there's a scam. And again, we've been pointing out all of the scams that's been going on when brothers and sisters go over there to Ghana, when they had that, oh, everybody come on the year of return, y'all come on over here. And family, there's video after video after video after video of black people going over to Ghana and getting the scams put on them. They're getting scammed left and right. And that's just the reality. That's nobody hating. You can look at the videos. People are going over there, they're buying properties, spending thousands of dollars. The land is getting finessed from them. That's why they wanted us over there, so that we can be fresh scam meat. And that's the long and short of it. Let's keep it a buck. Because my thing is, if I see my folks getting scammed, I'm not going to sell you no dream, man. I'm not going to sit up here um, trying to be the king of Wakanda and all that old bullshit. I'm going to keep it a buck. And I've been over there. I've been to some of those African nations, and I've talked to them. And truth be told, they're not really trying to have us come over for real, and build with like dual citizenship. Because look, I've been all around putting that dual citizenship bug in their ear, and they're just not biting. And I'm telling you from firsthand experience, they ain't really trying to build like that. Unless we can come over there with a bag, that's all they're interested in. And that's not Pan Africanism, that's scamming. It's not our duty to sit up there and be scammed by folks. You dig? That's the long and short of it. And we're not trying to denigrate nobody. But don't let these so called Pan Africanists come in the rooms and try to shame us into not upholding a false, non existent
Facts.
Pan Africanist. We all got to link up. Yeah. Anyway, two things. I feel them, they feel me, and I don't want to bore them with babble. See, I got this. It's called ethnic assets, and hello, Pip Pip, and it's sort of like Kinji. Have you heard of him? Yes, it was something along the lines of. Hold on, let me get a spot of tea. Oh, yeah, yummy. But listen, something along the lines of this. I want to elaborate on something similar to Cornel West and Degrassi, people of that nature. Well, you just kind of like to hear your goddamn self talk, man. You come on, bro. You kind of like to hear yourself talk. You know, flesh your stuff out, brother. Flesh it out, man. Get it together. Get that Peppa Pig shit up out of here. They came up to one of my lectures trying to sell me on the Cobra stuff. So, y'all remember the other day I had that tethered nurse that hold on Nick. That tethered nurse that sued cooking. It was just
Black. Why is it so much vitriol toward Black Americans? Why you Black Americans are African? Why don't they give that same energy towards Jamaicans, Caribbeans, Brazilians? We know Brazil has like the second largest.
So this is right here we're gonna talk about. Give me a second. How Pan African has failed Black Americans in New York. I think this is very important, and I think this is what we need to see right now. We're getting somebody else's point of view. I think this will be great. Watch.
Hey man, I do what I do. Our immigrants, traditional notions of Black unity are being re-examined. This whole Pan-Africanism. It was once seen as unifying, it's seen as a unifying ideal. It's now being critiqued for failing to produce reciprocal solidarity or economic advancement for foundational Black Americans. This can't be one-sided. That's what we're saying. And since it has been, now there's a growing discourse about the need for delineation and specificity when addressing Black American issues and recognizing both shared racial struggles, but very distinct historical legacies. You see? Now, I'm gonna let y'all look at some videos, because that's what I do. And we're gonna talk about some things that's gonna be hard on the ears. But y'all check this out. Hit the number 1 button.
Hey man, I do what I do. Use the word African American for we're just gonna use the word African American for descriptions. But if you don't have you know what? Fuck all that. If you don't have an ancestor that you can trace back to a slave plantation, you're not African American. Sorry. Good morning. Do with that information what you please. There's no such thing as a first generation African American. There's no such thing as a first generation African American. There's no such thing as a first generation African American. I'm tired of explaining this to y'all. You can't just fucking come up with.
Sir, you're very sassy, but still, watch your language. These are all people in the New York area who are commenting on what we're talking about now. This is erasure. This is erasure up close and personal.
You don't get it if you want to say that you're a first generation African American, because if you say that, you clearly just kind of lacking a little intelligence. It don't make no fucking sense. Okay.
You know what the issue is with foreigners of color coming to the U.S. calling Black Americans lazy? Because when they land in America, the only place that they can afford themselves to live in at is in the ghetto, and which is luxury to some of them anyway. However, they did not give themselves a chance to get on their feet to move amongst African Americans who are successful, living in mansions, children are in private school, And they just misjudge us based on the area that they were only able to afford to live in when they first come to America.
Facts.
When you move in the ghetto, those are the type of people who you're gonna meet. You have some who work every day, get up, take their children to school, go to work, come home, pick the kids up from school, and then you do have the ones who lives off of Section 8 and welfare, and you have people who are foreigners and Hispanics as well as Black Americans who are on those government programs. Stop judging them.
All right, so let me run that back. What the young lady is saying is when these immigrants get to America,
This is where Pan African failed us. They try to put us with people who don't like us, and I think it was a nasty, nasty thing that they did, cause they knew what they were doing. It wasn't like, oh, yo, they didn't know what they were doing, stall them out. No, we ain't gonna stall them out. We're gonna blame them for their actions and what they did, cause at the end of the day, they didn't even correct their own mistakes.
the only place they can afford to live is with the unacculturated blacks. I mentioned this earlier in a broadcast. I explained that when you compare the top 10% of immigrants, blacks, to the top 10% of foundational Black Americans, we blow them out the water. The average top 10%, 10%er in the foundational Black America, we make we make over $100,000. The average African, Nigerian specifically, they crack somewhere between 80 to 100,000. That's the median. The average Caribbean, their top 10% only makes between $60,000 and $70,000. So foundational Black Americans are blowing them away with political influence, land ownership, wealth, and yearly earning capacity. But they insist on comparing themselves to the people around them, and that's typically poor Black people in the ghetto. And so when they start saying stuff like, we're doing better than them, you compare yourself to regular Black folks. Shout out to Life Mo Abundantly. You're not even comparing yourself to the top 10%. When you compare apples to apples, foundational Black Americans are blowing.
You're going to find out the most Pan Africans are Masons. Yeah, I could agree with that. I had an uncle that was a Freemason. He just passed away a few years ago. And just the way he was a twin too. That was the crazy part. My uncle Jesse, he was a twin. You know, and this is how bad it was. I couldn't even tell them from apart from each other. So yeah, they were getting busy, man.
Blowing immigrants out the water. I did a broadcast on that. Check it out. Let's keep listening.
So many Black Americans have left New York, and according to this map, yo soy dominicano también. Let's get into it. Yes, because the street that my mom grew up on, which is 152nd Street right here, and the street in which my dad spent much of his young adult years, right here on Riverside, is now called Little Dominican Republic. Azalea Banks and Todd also grew up on 152nd Street between Amsterdam and Broadway. I don't know them, but my cousins know them. Today, New York has a huge Dominican population, so it's not surprising that a neighborhood would be named Little Dominican Republic. Even though there's no official boundary from Harlem, Black Harlem has historically been 155th Street to 110th Street, river to river. Realtors have recently renamed this area Manhattanville to appeal to white newcomers, and Morningside Heights is no longer referred to as part of Harlem. This is historically a Black American neighborhood. Even Ralph Ellison, the author of The Invisible Man, has his monument in the neighborhood. Now, the reason why they're claiming that so many of us are leaving New York is because we're so poor that we can't afford to live there anymore.
African Americans, their income have only increased by, say, 5,000. That's a very small number when you look at how the cost of living have increased.
So now they're saying you all are broke. They're saying you Black folk, you Black Americans are broke. You're too poor to live in New York. That's why you move. You're too.
This is the crazy part about it, because they have to lie on Black Americans. They can't even tell the truth about us, you know. So just keep on listening up.
Poor. Just look at the insults. Let's keep listening.
Over that last 10-year period. And so New Yorkers, at least African American New Yorkers, it's just a matter of income stagnation. They have not been able to keep pace with society. They have not been able to keep pace with rent. Because,
of course, you know, that sounds like some white supremacist rhetoric. We don't We're too poor to live in New York. Our family members are from North Carolina, and we just moving back home. But this is the subtle digs that Black Americans have to deal with. This woman is saying this on,
Crazy.
for the public to see. So imagine what's going on in New York proper. Let's keep listening.
Mortgage, with the cost of food and just the cost of living overall.
It's beautiful to see so many communities of color flourishing in New York, but when are we going to start talking about the real reason why so many Black Americans are leaving?
The real reason they don't want to live around all those immigrants.
As a New Yorker, I've noticed fewer Black Americans around.
That's what it is. They don't want to live around immigrants. And I'm going to be personally honest. It's not the easiest because they always got more than 2 cars. There's always like 15 people living in a house and everybody got 2 cars. 15 people, that means you'll have to find a way of parking. And I got to be personally honest, man. And it's not easy, man. It's just you don't want to live around those type of people. And we're not saying that they're bad people. It's just like, sometimes you just want a simple day. Why does your day have to be complicated coming home? And I know people hate that, they don't like us and stuff like that. They're against us. It's like, no, my nigga. It's just like, you got too much baggage. I got to be personally honest. Even Africans got too much baggage. Like I had to tell my staff member, I was like, they almost gave away my $45 chicken dinner. I mean, my seafood platter. So I told her, I was like, if you would have gave my shit away, you would have owed me $45. I was like, I don't like people playing with my food. I said, you knew what I was eating yesterday and you knew that was my food. Why would you give my food away? And this is the disingenuous shit that I be talking about. This is why I personally, I can only work with certain Africans. I can only be around certain Africans. Like, I know how they get down. And I know people don't like me saying that, but at the end of the day, if this is what you're showing me, this is what you're doing around me, why the fuck would I want to be around that? It could be because at the end of the day, how about this? Let me ask you a question, Official C. Instead of thinking that those states, those Mississippi, Florida, Texas, was it Oklahoma, Arkansas, all those areas, don't you think those places are reservations more than just states? Why do you think most of those people in those places are black? Why do you think those places is overpopulated? Those Nigerians in fucking Texas think they got a big ass population in Texas because there's probably 1,000 of them. Not knowing how many black people are in Texas. Not knowing how many black people move around and stuff. This is why I always tell people all the time. Let me tell you something. One thing I don't like people, like if I'm talking to a white supremacist or something like that, or if I'm talking to somebody who's white, if you start showing your teeth and stuff and clucking and bucking and stuff, I will feel comfortable. I will feel uncomfortable around you. I wouldn't feel comfortable. I would be cautious around you. Like, I'm being personally honest because at the end of the day, it's weird. It is very weird to me that you're doing this. You could be professional around me, but when you're around these white folks, you clucking and bucking. Like, you got to look at that. Most of these southern states, they're probably reservations for black natives. Why do you think most people's grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents are all down south? Why do you think they never left? This is how you know you're not even a fucking African, because at the end of the day, you don't flee. you still go back home. You still bring your roots towards that. You still bring your roots towards the East Coast. You still send your kids down south. Like you gotta understand that like most of those places in those south, nobody can't tell you about the south more than a black person. Not even a person in Florida or in fucking Texas. Cause I know there's a big population of Latinos in Florida, but they really can't tell you anything about Florida. Even them Caribbeans and them Haitians, they really can't tell you anything about Florida. A black person could tell you about the Seminoles. A black person could tell you about the historical parts of Florida, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, fucking Arkansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska. Well, Nebraska is, I think, Oklahoma. No, it's different. Oklahoma, Nebraska, all these places. Like Louisiana, they can't tell you nothing about these places historically. They can't tell you, oh yeah, my great grandparents used to play down there when they were younger. Oh, that was the plantations where my family used to live on. They can't say that shit. But if you go to Africa or the Caribbean countries, they will tell you about these countries. They can tell you about these places. They can tell you historical figures about these places in the Caribbean islands and in Africa. Some can. So now you got to think, are these places down south reservations?
I heard many have moved down to the Carolinas, sometimes even Georgia or
Facts.
Florida. But damn, I don't be seeing my people, hearing them. I don't know what happened to y'all.
Shout out to TIQ. Yeah, we know what happened.
That probably explains why niggas from New York these days be sounding like this. Watch this. Yo, what a bro, what a heart, bro, what a man's, bro. Yo, what you talking all crazy stuff? You talking all that? What you talking about?
You hear that? I want you to understand. Okay, and we're gonna go somewhere, and y'all don't even know where I'm about to take you guys, but we're about to go on a rocket ship in a minute, and we're gonna revisit something well in the past. Shout out to Sonia C. And I'm going to help you see something with some new lenses on that you didn't understand. Everybody who's been listening, when was the Immigration Act passed? 1965. It was slow, but then by the 1970s and 1980s, what happened? You had all these immigrants began to flood New York. Okay? All right, I want you to keep listening. Keep on listening. All right? And what is this gentleman saying? The dudes in New York don't sound like they're from New York. Remember I told y'all earlier, my people are from Mississippi, and so that's why I don't necessarily sound like I'm from California. Shout out to V4 Visions, because I have their accent, their culture, and their ways. You remember that?
Let me ask you a question. Whoever's family's from the South, and he makes a great point. Whoever's family's from the South, don't your family members, your cousins and your uncles don't sound like y'all really ain't from Boston? Like, let me ask y'all a question. If I never told y'all I'm from Massachusetts, y'all wouldn't even know I was from Massachusetts. Y'all wouldn't even know. Everybody, this is why I always tell people all the time. I was like, you can tell. Sooner or later, we're gonna start figuring out that these people ain't. They're not Black Americans. You can you can tell by a person the way how they talk, their mannerisms and everything. Yeah, a motherfucker probably a jerk, but at the end of the day, you can start. You're gonna start telling. You're gonna start figuring out like, oh yo, these people is from this. These people are from Haiti or Jamaica and stuff. You're gonna start figuring that shit out. If they don't sound white, they they their native tongue is about to come out. Like us, let me tell you something. We be having broken languages and people be thinking that, oh yo, you got a low IQ. No, that's just our lingo. You could tell a person from Florida and stuff like that. You could tell them similarity that these people are black Americans, these people are from Haiti or some type of other country. Like, yo, you can't duplicate that shit. These people, let me tell you something. I was watching Fall, and I started figuring out, and even in my head, I was like, nah, this dude Franklin, there's something weird about him. For years, I was like, yo, there's something weird about him. Then when he did an interview, this Peppa Pig fucking type of accent came out. I was like, oh my god, you gotta be fucking killing me. Even what's his name, Idris Elba. Idris Elba is one of my favorite actors. You can tell that that motherfucker is not from no fucking Baltimore. You could tell that he ain't from no Baltimore. So what is this telling people now? What is this telling us now? They're trying to hijack our culture. They're trying to replace us. Never trust him with a biker buster. Shout out to Randall Double R. But he said, don't trust a man with a biker mustache. But let me just get back to this, man.
That's why you don't see me out here talking like this. What's up, homeboy? Yeah, it's gonna be hella hot. That's the new generation stuff. I talk like the people who I learned this, who I spoke with as a baby. You see what I mean? I eat the food. I had some collard greens last week, baby. Uncle D don't miss no meals. I need to work out a little more. But I'm just saying, you're gonna be around here, we gonna eat good. All right? Let's keep listening.
Wait, you talking about you mixy? You talking about what a bro? What a man's bro? Look at you lacking this nap. Your bitch make me clap. You talking about? You talking about? No, see, what a bro? What a heart.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're cosplaying what they think is a New York black person. Mm-hmm. All right? But look back in the 1960s and before the 1960s, how did black Americans speak when they were in New York? Did they speak like that? Yeah, they didn't. No. Okay? That's something else.
What am I hard, bro? No, so you talking all this that? What a bro? What a heart? What am I heart? What am I mans? What you talking about? Yo, what a bro? What a bro? Yo, you slap shot, you this and that. You know what I'm saying? I catch you like by the throat. What you talking about? What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You talking all crazy, this and that.
Ever since immigrants took over the rap scene, it seems like pirates invaded New York. It's bro, I swear, look.
Ever since immigrants took over the rap scene, all right?
Everybody in New York these days be sounding like they pirates. They sound like they from like Toronto or some shit. Like, that's the one thing I noticed. I promise you.
Everybody, give me 1 second, all right? Yeah, my contact's coming in tomorrow. Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, man, it's yeah, them niggas be sounding like they're the pirate of the Caribbeans and shit, man. Like, can we all just say that immigrants fucked up New York? Can we say that? The migrant, we could call them migrants, immigrants, whatever you want to call them. Can we say that they fucked New York up? Like, let me actually, I'm gonna even say this. In the 90s and 80s, the immigrants were staying on code. The black immigrants were staying on code. We did have the shower posse, but at the end of the day, the motherfuckers got scooped up quick. And most of that shit was political. I personally think that shit was political in their country. You know? But other than that, black Americans stayed on code. Black Americans achieved. Who's live back in the days? Facts. Facts. It was lit. Like New York was lit. Like even like I said, immigrants was staying on code back in those days. There wasn't, and the thing about, they wasn't even bringing their culture like that. If they brought their culture, oh, yo, this is what I do in my country. Oh, yo, that shit is dope. But there was already a cultural, there was always a cultural bearing. I was a cultural situation here already in America because we was already dealing with the Irish. We was already dealing with I think they got Vietnamese or Chinese in New York. But yeah, it just, you could tell the difference. You could tell that these people were black. Nowadays you can't even tell. Now these niggas is Nigerian, Dominican, fucking Jamaican, Haitian. Like it's so fucked up in New York right now. That's why they're trying to get everybody out of New York. Yeah, there you go. There was no that's the thing. They needed was cultural respect. It's not like, yo, we're not gonna be like, yo, nigga, I'm not going. I want to go to the Jamaican joint over there. Them Jamaican, yo, them curry goats be bussin'. You act like niggas wasn't gonna go that, wasn't gonna do that. Like even in Boston, black people like, yo, let's go get some curry goat and shit like that. That shit is bussin'. Now we can't even go there no more because you know why? It's just like, yo, those Jamaicans and them Haitians, they talk crazy about black people. You know a nigga ain't gonna touch an African's place because you know how Africans feel about black people. And the thing about it, you could tell by the jobs that you work at with them. If you work in a hospital with them niggas is gonna talk crazy about you. I had to cuss a fucking Moroccan girl out because she said, "Oh yeah, you're different from them other black people." I said, "What type of black people do you fucking know?" Oh, the ones that are disrespectful, who smoke crack. I'm like, bitch, what did you say? Like this is what these Africans think about black people. There's no ifs and buts about it. Let them niggas get mad at you. Oh yeah, you a crackhead. You're single baby mama. You make single baby mamas and all this crazy shit. Like yo, it's nuts. It blows my fucking mind. It blows my fucking mind. Then, like I said, one thing that I will agree with Kwame and Shabaka that they said, New York is a melting pot right now. New York isn't New York anymore. Let me tell you something. The reason why Harlem's fashion is still is I'm gonna tell you, New York's Harlem fashion right now is on life support right now. Is because of the immigrants. I'm being personally honest. Harlem, the way how niggas used to dress in Harlem, yo, was crazy. You can even say some Caribbean people, they were on code with the fashion. They were on code with the fashion when they were fucking with black people. But the thing about it, shout out to DJ Biggs. I'm still trying to figure out how after the civil rights movements and after the MLK assassination, they renamed parts of Because you gotta understand too, what's so fucked up, and I gotta be personally honest, and this is where I say Pan African failed us. They made us all sound like we were all one, and we let these fucking immigrants into the political field. We let them in the field that was so dangerous. So dangerous where we knew that they was not gonna stay on code because they don't know the game plan. That's why they're right now they're in Harlem calling it fucking Senegal fucking land right now. Like, I'm being personally honest. Pan Africans failed us. The old heads who was a part of that Pan African bullshit, and I'm gonna say it's bullshit, they failed us. Just like right now, the conservatives, they're feeling these trailer park meth heads right now. They're running around here talking about we were fucking Aryans. This is why conservatives between this next year and the year in 2 years, they're gonna have a fucking civil war. And I'm not talking about conservatives versus fucking liberals. Conservatives is fighting their own self right now. MAGA versus fucking America first. That's what's going on right now in this conservative world right now. This is why they can't get along. They were so used to going against us, talking shit about us, they can't even talk shit about us because they're killing each other. This is the new Crips and Bloods. This is the new Crips and Bloods, and this is the melting pot. You know what? Crips, Bloods, Vice Lords, GDs, those are the new ones. The liberals, the conservatives. All those fucking subgroups. This is why I tell y'all, let them motherfuckers fight. Then you know what we do? It's shine time. We make money off of them. You start a podcast and talk shit about them and say like, yo, look at all this crazy shit that's going on. Look at all this white on white crime. Where's the per capita? Why aren't we talking about this? Who is their leader? This is why I shit on all of them, the conservatives and the liberals. What, y'all, them niggas think they gonna get passed by me because, oh yeah, we all want, nigga, we been voting for liberals for the last fucking 90 years, 80, 90 years, and they have done shit for us. And you think a motherfucking conservative is? They trying to hide all our fucking, our achievements. They ain't no better. And you think a motherfucker from a mud hut is gonna fix New York? You think a motherfucker with some dirty shirts and ashy ankles and some flip flops from some Caribbean island is gonna help fix fucking New York? The only person who had a chance of fixing New York was Madam Stephanie St. Clair's. And that was in the 1890s with fucking Bumpy Johnson, because Bumpy Johnson was right by her side. A Geechee man. A man who knew the culture. A man who migrated from the South to New York. These immigrants can't even fix their own fucking country. You think we're gonna depend? Let me ask y'all a question. You think Madam, was it Eric May? What's his name? Mayor Eric. I forgot the man's name. Eric was gonna fix that country. He could go on Breakfast Club all he want. You thought he was gonna really fix New York? He's a double failure. He failed in this country and he failed in New York. I personally, and I'm going to say this, and this is no disrespect to immigrants, but I don't think they should move to New York. New York is too big for them. New York is too fast for them. I'm being personally honest. They come to New York and they out here doing foul shit, wild shit. They need to go somewhere simple. like Idaho and Iowa. Eric Adams, thank you, OC. Mayor Eric Adams. He's a double failure. His family failed in his country and they failed in New York. You could have a whole bunch of shit and still be a failure. Why the fuck you think everybody turned on him? First he's with immigrants, then after that he's against them. We could go on 2 shows. We could look at 2 interviews before he got indicted and after he got indicted. So what the fuck are we talking about with Eric Adams? And when he was and the thing about it, I kind of agreed with him before he got indicted. I said, you know what? He handles himself properly. Then when after that, when this nigga came back on after he got indicted and beat got indicted, started talking about, oh, whoa, they all just came and stuff and I was taking money. Nigga, we don't want to hear we don't want to hear the Caribbean babble right now. Because at the end of the day, you talk about, they were only snipers. When that lady was pressing you and saying that, he was a cop. Yeah, he's a cop at heart. Yeah, you're right, OC. Yeah, he was super dirty when he was when he was in that political office. The thing about it, now you got another immigrant saying that he ain't even African. This nigga out here talking about he Ugandan. Some Indian motherfucker. I can't make this shit up with these liberals and these conservatives. This nigga talk about he's African. And that motherfucker look like he eat Indian food. Like, come on, we can... This is why I say this shit right now is getting so crazy, and at the end of the day, this will be the most interesting year in the last 20 to 40 years. This year, let me tell you something. This year has been worse than probably the crack era. This shit has been crazy and worse than the crack era. And we had Free Ray Ricky, we had the Chamber Brothers, we had BMF, we had all that shit in the 80s. But now we look at that shit now like, what the fuck is going on? It's these political people that's acting crazy. And they can't, and the thing about it, they can't even hide their bullshit, and they still try to bullshit us. They really try to turn a alleged white supremacist into a fucking Martin Luther King. Talk about this nigga fought for all of us. And we have we have tapes of him saying foul shit about blacks, immigrants, and LGBTQIA. Oh, but look at what he said over here with the... Nigga, no, we ain't gonna cherry pick. A nigga don't give you no hot slug for no reason. I'm gonna say that. Niggas don't catch hot bullets for no reason. He wanted to be a revolutionist, and this is what happened to revolutionists. They die. Most revolutionists die. There's a 10%, there's a 5% that you're gonna live. You don't think, let me ask you a question. You don't think all these black revolutionists, and y'all wanna compare this motherfucker to Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you think this motherfucker was supposed to live because he's white? He was supposed to die. He's a revolutionist. Revolutionists die. Fred Hampton died. Fucking Martin Luther King died. Ashanka Shakur ran. All the rest are in jail. I can only probably name a few people who are revolutionists that are still living. Everybody's favorite Caribbean. Honorable Louis Farrakhan. I think Bobby Seals is still alive. Fucking Modric Everett. Yeah, see? There's a few. That's it. There's not that many. We gotta think. We gotta put on our fucking thinking hats. When you say, oh, what fucking revolutionist is still alive? There's not that many fucking white revolutionists, and if anything, they got a fucking racist background to them. Like, come on, let's not do that to ourselves. Yeah, let me tell you something, DJ Biggs. All that African shit, man, we gotta get rid of that shit. And the reason why is because that's not our culture. They're going through a tribalistic civil war right now, where some of these countries are getting genocide. Do we want these type of people around us in the atmosphere that we are in right now, where shit could pop off, shit we could achieve some type of money, shit that we can't get bills and policies for us at at once we get policies and bills and shit is not people of color and minorities. We don't have these fucking weird words and shit. We actually might really get something because they're figuring out they can't do it by themselves. They need help. The more they keep on pushing, the deeper the hole is. The deeper they expose themselves, the more they expose themselves. Do you think they want to keep on doing that? You think they want to depend on a fucking immigrant? Why do you think they keep on going to Jason Whitlock? They told Nick Fuentes, go fuck yourself. What's his name? Andrew Tate's, go fuck yourself. Fucking bitchin' ass fucking Myron Gaines, go fuck yourself. Candace Owens, go fuck yourself. Candace Owens is fucking Caribbean. They went to fucking Officer Tatum, Jesse Lee Peterson, Jason Whitlock. What the fuck is that saying to us? That's telling us something. They can't do it by themselves. And once these coons fail, who you think they're gonna come to? Hey yo, Tariq Nasheed, you were right. African, what was that? Elite Alpha, you were right. FBAs, you were right. Black Americans, you were right. We do need to come together. We are all American. That's what they're going to say. We are all American. They're going to start throwing out French words. We. Stephen A's he's a tether, but he's kind of passing off, but he is failing because you know what? He's showing his cards. He's starting to show his cards now. All that money, they're going to start taking it back. Any amount of money. Yo, I'm telling you, official C. Stephen A. Smith, they're going to take back that money. They're going to A, expose him, or B, they're going to manipulate his system where what they did to Shannon Sharp. They're going to Shannon Sharp him. All jokes aside. Because Stephen A., he is cooning and buffooning right now. And we don't want to hear, oh yeah, us black folks. We don't want to hear from no fucking Stephen A. Smith. I'd rather hear from fucking Ja Rule before hearing from Stephen A. Smith about any politics. Ja Rule ain't even a politician. That's how crazy it is. You know? Stephen A. Smith always been full of shit. He been full of shit ever since he was cooning and buffooning with fucking, what's the white man's name? I forgot the dude's name. The old nigga. The dude who lost his show on FS1. You know, talk about, oh, it's gonna be better, yada yada yada. He thought he was gonna have another coon ass black man. It's just Shannon Sharp has that. He has the charisma. That's the only thing. Michael Irvin don't really have that charisma like that. Michael Irvin's lit, but he's only lit to like hood niggas. That's why he's so good on on the show with Cameron and Mace. That's why he's good on those type of shows. But like I said, you gotta blame Pan Africans for this shit. Pan Africans Africanized New York. Pan Africans Africanized Boston. This is why I always tell niggas get rid of those red, black, and green flags. Those flags is, let me tell you, I'm gonna compare those flags to the Confederate flags. Those are all failure flags. A Confederate flag is a failure flag. Them niggas lost the war. And them niggas is still bitching since fucking the 1800s. They still bitching to now. Talk about my great great grandfather was a fucking farmer. That nigga don't even know how to grow a fucking apple, my nigga. Like, come on, let's not do that. He can't even grow. The nigga can't even grow a fucking vegetable to save his fucking life. And you talk about your great great grandfather was a fucking farmer. Your great great grandfather was a fucking loser. He was a natural born loser that needed he needed all the fucking tricks, all the fucking leverage to be something in life. Let's call it as it is. Even if they agree to reparation, they will find a way to go back on it. Of course. Of course, Rando. They always do. That's why you always got to, oh, well, they did give reparations, but they just took it back. No, it's just they gave white people reparations because they couldn't have us as slaves anymore. They couldn't have us work for us for free no more. That's why. This is why I always tell the white supremacists and white people, stop celebrating that Confederate shit. Them niggas is losers. If you want to erase something out of history, erase that bullshit. That Confederate waste of fucking life. And let me tell you something, and I'm gonna be personally honest. The Confederate Army and rebels are the most sorriest motherfuckers I ever seen in my life. How the fuck would you get in free shit until this day? Your state is a piece of shit because of you. You're the most sorriest motherfuckers I know. I'm sorry, everybody. I've been talking for like 2-3 hours. Let me get.
Niggas back in New York did not sound like that 10 years ago, not even 20 years ago. I don't know where the fuck this shit came from.
No.
They be sounding like that these days, so I be irritated.
I went to school at Grambling State University, and the year I got there in 1992, we had the highest incoming freshman class ever. It was over 7,300 people in North Louisiana and Grambling State University. And we had people from everywhere. And the New York people I went to school with didn't sound like that.
No, they didn't sound
You understand? Like and most of them could trace their roots back to Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and so on and so forth.
North
because
Carolina,
the immigrants
South Carolina
hadn't quite set in. And many of them were first-generation immigrants.
What's up?
Yo, he did his thing, man. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to add on to what he said, too. Bust this, all right? I'm going to do one more video. I'm going to land. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do one more video. Because we already talked about conservatives. I agree with Rando this time. They don't honor reparations. They don't, but at the end of the day, they learned in the hard way. That's the thing, OC. They learned in the hard way that, yo, they're going to have to give us some money or something. They're going to really have to give that money because at the end of the day, they're losing their country. They're losing their country. They're losing their country. And the thing about it, they thought if they gave us Pan-Africanism and shit like that, you know what, they'll keep us in check. They thought those niggas was going to be the gatekeepers. Them niggas don't even know how to lock a motherfucking gate. Now they want to be gatekeepers. Them niggas is crazy. And the thing about it, the reason why I'm not even too hard on immigrants as it is, I could have been talking even more crazy, is because it's not their fault. It's their parents' fault. Their parents didn't let these fucking people be children. Let these fucking kids be kids, man. Why the fuck are you telling this kid don't mess with that kid? Because he's a Hakata or an American. He's a thug and shit like that. You don't know that fucking kid from a hole in the wall. You didn't even meet this motherfucker's parents. You talk about this kid as a fucking thug. That's why I'm not so hard on immigrants, because it's your parents. Your parents raised you to be that way. Your parents made you to be fucking ignorant. Your parents made you to say that type of foul shit. That's why when your parents get sent back, you know what? That's good for you, man. You know what? You can be your own man. What's going on Code? What's going on? Salute. But we're going to watch this video. It's going to be a 30-minute video. I'll cut it down, but this is the Pan-Africans talking about Pan-African. I didn't even get to watch it.
Suppressing its best people for no fucking reason. You can get punished for any reason here. Like he said, you have an American accent. Oh, you think you're better than us? I think Africa has a way of suppressing its best people for no fucking reason. You can get punished for any reason here. Like he said, you have an American accent. Oh, you think you're better than us?
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking suffer.
They tell you, oh, this ethnic group are very loyal. They are very hardworking. They're very strong. Therefore, they shall be in the security sector. This group, do not trust them. They have sticky fingers. They're thieves or whatever. Don't have them in your company. People tend to run their businesses around that premise.
And I'm going to say this, you know what? Just hearing that, this is Africans talking about Africa. This is Africans talking about tribalism in their countries, in their continent. This is why I say Pan-Africans failed us. They failed us. They're telling us, oh, come on home. Come home for what? So I can be disappointed, nigga? Nah, we ain't doing that here. Nah.
Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Mai and this is the Repart podcast and I am joined by
Gilbert Katumba, chef and entrepreneur. Happy to be here.
Shout out to them too. Shout out to
Master Gabs in the building. Also happy to be here.
Yes, Gabs.
Let's get into it. Okay, so Chef, we talked about these topics about a month ago.
Yes.
And one of the topics that we're talking about is with the Africa Free Trade Agreement coming together.
Yes.
In Africa trying to solidify its working relationships with its neighboring countries and trying to keep the money in our continent.
Yes.
We're going to have some problems with somehow working together. You mentioned something that was pretty interesting that I hadn't really thought about. Mm-hmm. And that was what?
That was, I think it was something to the effect of we as Africans tend to look for differences amongst ourselves rather than similarities. And it has kept us back as a race. For example, you're not the same tribe as me.
Okay.
You're not the same clan as me. You know, for every societal stage, we have a way of splitting hairs. You know what I mean?
Give me an example.
An example would be starting a company and hiring people from your ethnic group.
Yes.
And not trying to diversify and...
Or not basically operating on meritocracy.
Yes.
Okay.
So somebody will start a supermarket and they will go to their hometown.
Okay.
And get a bunch of people. Doesn't matter what professional level they're at. We're the same tribe. Come work in my supermarket.
What is that for? And I kind of have an idea, but for those of us who grew up, I mean, the African American group, we're somewhat of a tribe, but there's so many of us that are like it's like, you know, you're from the West Coast, you're from this city, you're from whatever. So we might not understand tribalism as Africans may understand it because we're all pretty much a homogeneous population for the most part.
Right. Knows he comes from my hometown.
Okay.
He's my tribe.
Okay.
He would never steal from me. Sure.
Okay.
That's not always the case, though. You know, because human beings will be human beings and they'll do what human beings do.
Like I've heard in Uganda, like those from the north, they're really loyal. So that's why they're like security guards or things. Is that true?
Again, that comes back to those
In the army, the military,
biases that
they're
we
very
have.
loyal.
There are things that have been ingrained.
Okay.
Us as Ugandans, you know, they tell you, oh, this ethnic group are very loyal. They are very hardworking. They're very strong. Therefore, they shall be in the security sector. This group, do not trust them. They have sticky fingers. They're thieves or whatever. Don't have them in your company. People tend to run their businesses around that premise.
Okay, let me kind of explain before I give the mic up because I don't want to ask too many questions. I've noticed that those in Nairobi, especially with the tax increase protests, there is this Generation G is trying to operate as a tribeless group, which is very much different from what I'm seeing what's happening in Uganda. Uganda, for example, we did the Pan-African dating show, the Wraith and Yash concept. We can do it here by tribe.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not offensive to anybody because not like Uganda is so like tribalistic, like it's bad or anything, it's violent.
Right.
But people are proud to be from Lugbar, Acholi, Uganda, and they're here in the central region in Kampala.
Yes.
But I noticed that Generational Z and the Kenyans, they want to be considered a tribeless group.
Yes.
Because they feel like these are the issues that have held them back as a group here. What do you think about that situation as far as how they're operating right now in Nairobi? And is that what needs to happen all over Africa?
So Kenya and to a great extent Tanzania, they have a leg up on Uganda in that they have a unifying language that isn't specific to what, specific ethnicity.
Very great point. Oh my God.
You know, we don't have that in Uganda. And for the most part, somebody can tell where in Uganda you come from, regardless of what language you're speaking. You're speaking English a certain way, somebody will know based off of his accent, he's from the north or he's from the west. That's starting to change with people of our generation and the generation.
I don't think he noticed that people who come up from the north that are black, they still have the country accent, but it's not deep. Because you gotta understand, who are these people learning from? This is why I say, like, where black immigrants, they give themselves away because they don't have the culture lingo. You know? There goes Shabaka, the legendary sucker. Shabaka, let me see. The difference between being Pan-African and FBA is that Pan-Africanness has understanding of history. No, you don't. No, you don't, Shabaka. Stop lying. The difference between Pan-Africans and FBA, Pan-Africans always have to lie half the time. He said, guess who's back?
And after us, in that when we're speaking English or Luganda, you can't really tell where somebody is from. Even because of the intermarriages, you can't really tell through physical features where somebody is from. Or they might be of a multiple ethnic background. You just can't be sure these days. Back in the day, you could be sure. You know, if somebody's really dark-skinned and tall, they're definitely from the north. You know? If somebody is very shapely and they have black gums, very definitely from the west. This isn't my opinion. These were biases that we heard growing up. Like if somebody has a big nose, they're from like the central, but that's not the case anymore.
Crazy.
But still.
Now the question is, you see this guy? He's telling the truth, and shout out to him. I'm glad. Let me tell you, sometimes it might be difficult to tell the truth about your own people, but are these the people that you want to be around? This is the question that I'm asking. Are these the type of people you want to be around? Are these the type of people you want to trust? That the people that he is explaining. He's telling you about East Africa. He's telling you about East, Central, and Western Africa and why they got this the tribalistic mindset. He has said that just because another country has a leg up on him, that he will not hire them. They come to America. Just because you're American and you get resources, but you probably get more resources than a black American, you won't hire a black American. You'll hire your cousin.
Biases like that still linger, you know? They're very hard to get rid of, especially in a workplace situation. Somebody will look at your resume, they'll read your second name, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm not hiring this person.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
You are from the Central, and I don't want to be offensive to anybody, but the Central is the largest kingdom, Buganda, in East Africa.
Yes.
Do you feel like you've been discriminated in the Central, which is the biggest tribe in Uganda?
Me specifically?
Yes.
I have not. I have one advantage. I don't sound like somebody from the Central.
Okay.
On top of that, I wouldn't call it ease somebody assuage
Facts,
their
OC.
biases. I speak multiple languages. You might look at my second name and see that I'm from the Central, for example.
Yes.
Don't
But
crash
I'm
out,
speaking
Shabaka.
your language. I'm not talking about English. I'm talking about like ethnic languages, like
How many can you speak?
comfortably, like 7.
But do you speak it with an accent that's from?
It doesn't matter as long as you can communicate.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what your proficiency
Yeah,
is.
he's right, DJ
As
Biggs.
long
He's
as
right
you
about
can
that.
show them
Salute to
that you can come down to where they're at. That's all that matters. You know, somebody will look at you in a whole new way if you're speaking their mother tongue than they would if you say, hi, I'm Gilbert Katumba in Luganda or in English. I've read your resume, but what else? They need you to, you know, what else can you do for me?
Let me ask Gaba, because Gaba, you came from the United States, born and raised an American. You come into this environment, and are you experience? What is your experience in comparison to the chef?
In our previous conversation, Chef mentioned we may look alike. We may both be black. We may, in our case, we may have names that reflect that we are
from here,
right?
Yes.
But because of the way that I speak, because I don't have a mastery of my mother tongue, I am still looked at as foreigner. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay because, you know, I've made my best efforts to, you know, develop relationships with the people that are most me.
See, shout out to him, man. And I'm gonna say this. I think reason why he got that is because he's Americanized. He had to probably stick with black people, and he had to figure out like, yo, you still gotta welcome people. You still gotta, you know, work with people and stuff like that. You still gotta learn about people. He probably got an idea of what's going on because he's from America. So this is what we gotta look.
Meaningful to my existence and consistent growth in a way that doesn't require me to have a mastery of my mother's language, Runyankole, right? And
Is your father also?
My father is also from that same region, yes.
Okay.
I just, like, you know, they say your mother tongue, right?
Hold
But
on a
I am
second.
also making a strong effort to learn.
This is the part
Let me
right
say
here.
this. I don't know the culture, but I feel it with the people that I interact, at least in the company, that they feel a lot like the old generation. Whereas they can't dream, they can't be who they should be in the private sector or whatever. And again, like we talked about originally, the concept of this podcast was looking for every reason to be different
Yes.
than the same. And I think that that's just ingrained in people. So when you find somebody from, like, let me say, for example, like my mom, I hate to expose, but I'm going to expose her. My mom cried. I went back home right before I graduated med school, 2020. I was like, I'm going back to Uganda after this. She's like, don't go there. They do voodoo. They don't like our group. You know how Africans feel about. My mom is a staunch, like, African American, Louisiana bred Negro. Like, she is on that type of hype. Like, you know, she don't really like Africans like that. You know what I mean? And my grandma is very similar. My grandma's a little bit more open, but my mom is more African American. Look, we're not like them. They're not like us kind of person. And she's very, very open about that. You know, me coming back to Africa and then achieving what was done, like, just like, oh my God, I love Agaba. She commented on our video before with you on the video, and this isn't about me. She only made one comment on this fucking channel, and it was about him. Again, but that's the thing that we talk about is overcoming those differences. Well, why do you feel that way about Africans if you're African American? Yeah. Or if the other way around? Why do you not like them? And when you peel that back, well, they said something about you. Nigga, we say something about you in the black community in African American. I stay talking about people all the time. You know what I mean? That don't bother me. What is the goal? The goal is, if we work together, what can we get? Look at the whites. Just World War II. Paris hated Germany. Look at them now. Look at Poland and Germany right now. They're doing more business than everything else, right? So we look for those reasons as to why we can't do business, why we can't.
So I will answer his question. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. But the reason why it will not work, because we tried it. We've been trying it for 30 to 40 years. They've been trying it ever since I was a fucking in the nutsack. We've been trying it. It just doesn't work. We started all these liberation movements, all these black movement, these African movement, liberation, solidarity things, and there was no Africans. It was always black people doing shit. We started shit with Caribbeans. They didn't want to fuck with us. We was their enemies. That's how they looked at us. They looked at us as an enemy. They have always, you know? And I'm not trying to push hate. I wish we could have solidarity, but at the end of the day, we tried. It just doesn't work. You know? We can't get mad because it just doesn't work, you know? I'm going to be personally honest. We can't get mad because it doesn't work. Give me a second. I'm fixing my camera. All right, there we go. Yeah, we can't get mad. We tried. We tried for years, generations. We tried for decades. For decades. All of a sudden in 2025, something is going to change. Only thing that changes is that they need help. They need help. We don't need help. Every time we needed help, there was no, oh, look at them niggas acting crazy. Look at these niggas. We can't trust them. They're violent. That's what they said about us.
Can't, you know, help each other.
Can't thrive together.
And the rest of the world is doing that. And then when they come to, and then when they get together, you come to Africa. One Polish dude, storytime music. I have a buddy named Nee Adder. He told me some stories about a Polish consulate went to Polish people went to Nigeria. Okay, I have a buddy.
Facts.
Won't tell you anything in Polish.
Shout out
Poland
to
guy,
Dorsey.
when he came to Lagos, he stayed there for 2 weeks. He said, "Listen, I have never had that kind of booty in my life." He said, "I want to go back to Nigeria as a Polish person. And whenever you can help me get back there, I want to go back. Can I go back now?" These are white people who are not our group, and they go to, and again, they were fighting with their own, the Polish against whoever else, Russia, whatever else. Now they come to Nigeria, and they're the great unifiers, and they benefiting off of everything. And you know, the one thing I want to say is, what I've noticed is, focus on what you can get along with. With those groups of people that they like you, everybody ain't gonna like you. But those people who like you, want to build. Hey man, Africa, you can do anything, man. We have so much talent here. And I figure, like, when we focus on that, I've met so many great people who have helped me in my life, man. It's amazing. And I wake up every day thinking about, what can we do together?
Yes.
And the motherfuckers that have a problem with what we're trying to do, or I get rid of them. You know, those small-minded motherfuckers, let's go.
So what's the moral of the story here, guys?
Wait, hold on, before we go any further, I know someone will be like, oh yeah, nepotism or whatnot, but I just want to say that of course I don't take incompetence, lightly. Obviously, if someone that you put on
Yeah, that's
is not doing
O'Shea.
what they're supposed to do, then you can let them go, but that doesn't mean you should leave them in the village. I'm just saying.
Wait. I'm sorry.
This is to the point that I made in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like I didn't conclude it really well. I know someone in the comment section told me, oh yeah.
Let me say this also at the point, because a guy made a point, right? The point is, I feel like most of us, with the Pan-African African Free Trade Agreement, which is trying to develop very similar to the European Trade Agreement. We've seen what Kenya's done with the ETA. I was recently there. We had the East African community. It's their decision. But ultimately, we see what the Europeans have done. And the Europeans, and even countries who are not in the Union, like Switzerland and Norway, you can still get a European visa, Schengen visa, and go to Norway.
Yes.
And they understand that it's more strength in working together. It's cool from Buganda, from Ankole.
So, he's telling you why Pan-Africans is feeling in Africa. First of all, they're not getting along. They're not getting along. And I know he gave the example of black Americans not liking Africans, but that's not necessarily true if they didn't experience Africans being foul. Like we do voodoo in America. It's just called hoodoo, and it's the root lady. Let me see. He stated his mother is from Louisiana. Yeah, she country. What I know, he's a tether. He understands FBA culture, but he got to pay for pussy. Yeah, he likes tricking. That's the trick master right there, the trickster. I'm gonna land right here, man. We did good today. I'm gonna say this. Yeah, he's a trick master. Shout out to O'Shea. I'm gonna say this. I think right now, even with the conservatives, I don't know if we watched the conservative one. If not, I'll do one when I come back because I don't got no context to go to wrestling. I'll get some in the morning. I'm gonna say this that right now what these two groups is going through is a warfare within themselves. They thought and they tried to control everything, but at the end of the day, you're always gonna have to listen to somebody. You're always gonna have to listen to somebody. If it's not the left person, it's the right person. If it's not the right person, it's the left person. There's somebody that you're gonna have to listen to. Everybody has to answer to somebody, even if it's God. Right now, the conservatives is going through this thing called reaping what they sow. They wanted this free world. They wanted this free speech world, and they're getting it. They're getting what they want, and they're not liking the results. This is what their problem is. Their problem is not getting the results that they wanted. Oh, Charlie said that there's supposed to be gun deaths because you know what? It helps fix the gun laws and make gun laws matter. This nigga got popped in the neck, got popped in the slug with a rifle. His own creation was his demise. We can't get mad about that. We can't feel bad. This is how he wanted to go out. And I think people need to respect his wishes. He didn't want to go out with all this big fucking parade and shit. He wanted to go out the way he wanted to go out. Pan-Africanism. Oh, yeah. Also, like I've been telling y'all, conservatives, they didn't adapt with their own people. They can't adapt to their own people. Let's see. Yeah, facts. Facts, Dorsey. You're right about that. But also I'm gonna say this. Pan Africanism is failing because at the end of the day, their trickery is wearing off. When the CIA was paying for the movement, it was all right because at the end of the day, they were putting these in schools, so they were getting their money back. They were getting their money back. So why wouldn't the CIA fund this and put African studies and all this other stuff? This would make black people want to go to school. This would make black people have these stupid fucking degrees that they can't use in the real world. You know? Yeah, facts. North Louisiana too. Yeah, they got that red dirt. But it's coming to a point now is what to do about Pan Africanism. If they want to fuck with the movement, the FBA movement, they need to stay on fucking code. If they want this solidarity, they need to stay on fucking code. They're not the leaders of this movement. If they want to win, if they want to survive in this war, they need to fall in line and do what we do. Do what we do. Join the movement. But if you're not gonna join, you're gonna drown. You're gonna go down with the ship. You're gonna go down with that Pan African ship. Those lies. Those were lies to us. Tariq Nasheed made those videos for y'all so y'all can have pride in yourselves. So y'all don't have to change your name to Peter, Paul, and James, and John. You can have your African name. You could be prideful of your countries, of your tribes. That's why he made those videos. He didn't make those videos to say that you were better than people. He wanted y'all to have pride in yourself. He wanted people to stop lying on y'all. And y'all turned y'all back on him. This is why I don't like Pan-Africanism. This is why I turned on Pan-Africans. This is why I turned on Pan-Africans. This motherfucker put his own money and made a video for your peoples. And y'all turned on him. Lions, consequences, Africans this year. Yeah. Shout out to Ron Chan too. It's just... They dropped the ball, man. All that money that they were getting, all those things that they could have done for the black community, they didn't do shit for the black community. They let the black community sink and... Let me tell you something. If they were so serious about the solidarities, why did it didn't help the Africans get on a board with this? Why when they came here, they were fucking tribalistic and they told them not to fuck with black people. They told their children. This is why I don't blame this is why I don't blame this generations of Africans. I blame their parents. Their parents were the fuck ups. Their parents had the animosity that inherited into their fucking kids. This is why I said I'm not so hard on immigrants. I might talk crazy, but I'm not hard on them. The conservative party's dying. I'm gonna tell y'all that the conservative party is dying. They're about to go through a civil fucking war against MAGA versus fucking American First. They can't even beat fucking liberals. Liberals are sniping them motherfuckers off the fucking bridge and they talking about pray and forgiveness. They're talking that Pan-African shit. And Pan-Africans, they're long gone. Only people who could save Pan-Africans is black Americans, foundational black Americans. Those are the only people who could save Pan-African movement. But that shit is dead. Niggas is leaving. That shit is saranara. Like Taste of Honey. Like Taste of Honey always say it's saranara, baby. It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad and blue. You went away. Let me give my shout out so I can flex. I gotta go get my kids, everyone. Shout out to OC. Shout out to Dorsey. Shout out to E Will. Shout out to Randall Double R. Shout out to Ray Ray, Ohio, Shabaka, SP. What was Fred is back. Shout out to you. Shout out to the one. Shout out to DJ Big. Shout out to Ron Chen. Shout out to On Code. Shout out to all y'all. If I forget your name, I apologize. But thank you. We had a great show, yo. We did our thing. We almost did 4 hours. But again, yo, like I said, if they got to stay on code. We're letting this country crumble. We're showing them that they can't do it without us. They can't even get along with each other. But until then, y'all